Good. We started with good evening, everybody. Today is January the 10th, Thursday, January the 10th, already 10 days into 2019. It is Ladies' Night. On the panel today, we have Andrea, who is Authentic Path.
Hi.
We have Bling Bling BS of the ISS.
Happy New Year! And it's a bit late, but it's always happy and it's still kind of new. So Happy New Year, everyone in the chat, and to all the beautiful women in the panel today.
Hey, thank you, Bling Bling. We have Lesia. Hello, Lesia.
Hello, everybody. Mwah.
We've done that.
Yes. Mwah. Yes.
We have our Patricia. Patricia.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hey. And of course, Roxanne. The global
Roxanne.
Hi, darling.
I was thinking that.
Hello.
Yeah, we were just saying that you're a bit shocked it's already Thursday. I think time just flies by the older you get. I think that's what happens.
Just a
shout out to everybody in the chat room. And hello, Paul on the plane, who's in the chat room.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, Randy's in the chat room
Paul
as well.
on the plane. I love you.
Marilyn's in the chat room. Rose Tinted, Leah, Clive, Ute, Suzanne. Ooh,
Big hugs to
Yanti.
the chat room. Massive shout out to the chat room. Big hugs to everybody.
Hey, so should we just do a little bit in case anybody doesn't know who you are? So I'll start with Andrea because she's on the left of my panel. Andrea, I was said before, you're Trinity Four's wife, but a person in your own right.
I'm very much a person in my own right. I'm Trinity Four's wife. I'm Authentic Path on YouTube. As I said earlier, I don't have any content yet, but watch the space. I'm a mum to 3 beautiful children. I am taking it a day at a time in this crazy world that we live in. I'm living my truth. So that's me.
Hey, well, first ladies' night for you, so welcome.
It is. So a little nervous, but I'll get into it.
Oh, you don't have to be nervous with us.
I stay nervous. I get nervous every time. So nerves are okay though.
Yeah, nerves are good.
Yeah. If I start, saying something stupid, I'll tell myself and then I'll just mute myself.
Hey.
Glad to meet you, ma'am.
Yeah, we may as well go to you, Lesia. Do you want to say a little bit, Lesia?
Okay, let me get on camera. Okay, so I'm Lisa White, and I too don't have I don't know if I have a little bit of flat earth content. I wouldn't say I have a whole lot. I've done a little bit of flat smacking, but I'm very busy. I have a 3.5, almost 4-year-old grandbaby, and I have a brand new grandbaby, and I also take care of a lot of dogs. That's what I do for a living. When I'm not doing that, I am on YouTube and I am taking in everything flat earth that I can. I'm kind of a late nighter, as you all know. I hang out at the Flat Earth Pancho Pete pub because it's at night. But yeah, is that everything?
And you hang out here sometimes.
Oh, no. Well, I meant late at night. Yes. Absolutely. No, I try to go and visit everywhere. I've been on a few panels. Yeah, I just like to support whoever, whenever. It's just that the UK, the UK channels for me, it's at an odd time for me. It's during my busy time. So, but I love all you guys, and yeah, I'm a flat earther. That's it's just flat. It's flat. So I'm glad to know you all.
Right.
Yes.
Bling bling.
Oh, here I am. I was multitasking, of course. so I'm winded. I was like
Oh.
racing around cleaning a bit. Well, everyone knows that I have a channel. Well, most people know that I ball bust NASA to the 10th degree. I'm just working right now on something pretty epic. So look out for that. I also am a mother of 2 adult sons, grandmother of a sweet little guy. I am married to an amazing husband, and I believe myself to be the most transparent person in the truth community that I know. There's nothing that I won't answer. I answer every single question about who I am and what I do, and that's it. I think that as members of the truth community, and I do love that word, and I've been criticized for it, I believe that we should show our face, say who we are, our name. We are not to be hidden behind computer screens, typing away, making content about others, yet we fail to show our face. I think that's super important. And I think 2019 is the year that more and more people will come out of their closet and announce to the world that the world is flat, and they believe it and embrace it and are not ashamed of it. In fact, we are now on the offensive before we were on the defensive. And I think that's super important. So that's it. That's who I am.
Yeah, thank you, Bling Bling. Oh, Patricia.
Yeah. Hello. Go ahead.
Just talking, you've had 6 children. Everybody, Patricia had 6 children. I had 4. 6. Well done, Patricia.
I actually wanted 14 before I had my first one. and then it changed to 11. And
when you realize how much diapers cost?
no, how painful it was.
Oh.
And then
Okay.
went to 11. And then I barely got 6, to be honest. I was lucky to get the 6th one. So I thought I better call it quits while I can.
It's amazing.
Okay, I wouldn't be normal at being myself if I wouldn't have tell you this, Karen. So when you said, hey, everybody, Patricia had 6, children, you're saying 6 children. Well, I was walking about and I guess part of it got cut off and it sounded like you said to me, hey, everybody, Patricia had sex. Like, you know.
No, they've all been immaculate conceptions.
Yeah. Right.
We did have a telly.
Okay.
Can I just say something while I've got the floor?
Yes.
I'm hoping to do a video on my channel because there's nothing on there at the minute, and I'm like really want to do a video on something that it's to do with flat Earth, but it's just something I've observed. But the problem is I ain't got a clue how to do it, so it might take me a while.
Epic video, guys. I just know it. Good for you, Patricia.
I'm sure you can find someone to help you.
I need a video camera, really.
I'll always help her.
I need a video camera.
You can use, if you have a video on your phone, if you have a smartphone, then you've basically got a video camera. And then all you need is the software on a laptop or a desktop to be able to do the editing, and you can make it really simple. It doesn't have to be super technical with that type of stuff, as long as you just put your information on there. That's all people really need. They don't need fancy, a fancy video to keep someone interested if your content is interesting. But we could always do a hangout just talking about how to do those types of things. If you ever want, I'm willing to help.
Oh, thank
you. I mean, to be honest, my phone, it probably only has about 2 minutes of video time. So I wanted something that had a bit more time on it. But yeah, we can have a talk about that.
Well, there's some great video cameras that are so reasonable now that you can get. I've been pricing some out for myself. When I start going out into the field doing more flat smacking, I'm going to get myself a video camera to do it and set it up on a tripod so I don't have to hold my phone. And I've got something already picked out. I'll send you the link later if you want. It's pretty reasonable and it's an excellent camera. And I'm looking at a really great microphone to go on that camera to pick up all the sound as well. And the whole thing is not going to cost really that much. So if you want to spend a few dollars to do it, then just let me know and I'll show you what I'm picking out, which I did all the research.
Bling Bling is going to turn you into the next Hori Sheep. I can see it now.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I don't think I'll go that far, but yeah, I definitely need two hands because I'm using a globe. Little sneak preview. I can't speak. Preview. I'm using a globe, so I can't do the globe and hold my phone.
You can't spin it?
I can spin it in all directions. Oh, you mean my phone?
No, the globe.
Also, Patricia,
The thing we live on.
Patricia is our quiz master as well, and she helps me a lot. So that's what she does for Flat Earth. She helps me and has to listen to me. But could I just say, Roxanne,
Yeah.
your turn. What do you do, Roxanne?
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a mum of two, live in London. I've woken up to Flat Earth and various other things a few years ago. Been making content now for about 8 months, I think, and started doing activism with John Smith Global back in April, May last year. Done various bits at Speaker's Corner along with Andrea and other amazing people. The list is so long now. I'd probably need to actually write it down to remember everybody's name off by heart. Everyone, you know who you are, whoever's, come out onto Speaker's Corner, Andrew, the list is utterly endless. Done that for various weeks through the summer, carried that on last Sunday of every month. With that being said, again, Andrea, I'm going to bring you into it because Dave was involved in that as well, the Global Eye Tour last year. We did that. Yeah. And really all it was about was just kind of spreading awareness of questioning what we've been taught and not just taking it all as a given, not just blindly believing, things that we've been taught as to be factual on, that they're, a model, and model being the operative word, that we should just slow down in life and have these, try and make them civilized conversations if we can. And as Andrea knows, it was a real arduous couple of months, and it took a lot out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, before I even move forward with anything else that I've done since, I just want to give full props, full ratings to Harry John Smith Global Eye. What he did was absolutely beyond monumental. Yeah, first and foremost, he selflessly gave himself over those 8 weeks. And we all witnessed and took part in something that I never thought I'd see so soon. The reception the guys got in Ireland from people coming out, and these were people that didn't really participate in, commenting or being active in the chat room. These were people that were, I suppose, for a better word, anonymous people. The silent majority came out onto the streets, and it was incredibly powerful. For us to see. And I just want to give Harry the respect he so duly deserves for such a monumental task completed. It was 52 towns. One of the biggest things I think this country's done for spreading awareness, alongside Jason of the Dispary and dozens of other amazing individuals. Where do I go
Jason's
from there?
in the chat room, by the way. Jason of the Disby family's in the chat room. So hi, Jason. Well, hi, chat room, everybody.
Sorry, I can't see the chat room just now. Sorry, guys.
It was Roxanne. Well,
there's loads of people in the chat room.
Yeah, go for it, Andrea.
It was a bit of a trailblazer tour, wasn't it? Really. So. It was pretty awesome. I was not so much involved when I was out there, which was only for.
You amazingly supported Dave in doing what he did, and he.
Yeah. Well, I was there for 2 days and got to witness some of it, and wow, it's it's a courageous act, really, because. It's not for the faint. It's not for the faint-hearted.
No, it's not.
Although there were plenty of really good conversations. There's you have to take a fair bit of flack from the public
Yes.
So a pretty courageous thing, I think. I mean, activism is pretty courageous. But it's, you know, it's not about necessarily changing the minds of everyone, but the ripple effect of just changing one. But it's also that human contact. It's about having a conversation with someone energetically, you know, in their presence, looking them in the eye. It's that kind of
that human interaction. Yeah,
exactly. And that's where it's different. You know, there's a place for everything. There's a place for everything. I mean, the online community is obviously exceptionally important, but to have the opportunity to get out there, and so I was more witness to it than I was a participant. You know, I would now and again step in, but an awesome experience.
Well said. And like I said, I don't know where to start after there. So after that, I got involved with Anthony Riley. He's taken on the UK education system under the Education Act principles, and he's not stopping. I'll just say that he's not stopping. He's undergoing that just now. So, you know, watch this space where that's concerned. I've also been involved with Dr. John Dee's experiments down in Hove, UK, and I'm going to continue to be actively involved in that. I'm helping out with the next one in February. And also doing a podcast with Robin, Lifting the Lid. We've started a podcast as well. That's on
into the chat room as well.
Yeah, we've got that on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play. And next up is this year. So wow, yeah. So I'm going to co-host the Global Eye Convention in the UK with Robin, and I'm going to support the Global Eye Tour again with Jason. Give you more details about that in a little bit. And I'm going to be a speaker at the Amsterdam Convention. So far, that's all I've got for you.
So not a busy year at all then,
Roxanne? No, not really, babe. Not really. No, not at all. Just a couple of bits here and there. Just trying to get the word out there in any way, shape or form, if I can.
Hey, Roxanne, Bling Bling's done a bit of flat smacking as well in Hollywood.
Oi, really?
Yeah, Bling Bling.
Good job.
Where's she gone? Bling Bling.
Hello.
Bling Bling. Oh, maybe she's just gone to the loo or something. Bling Bling, where are you? Anyway, she was out in she went out with Flat Earth Dude, and I bet, were you there for that, Lesia? Did you see it? Anyway, she did some
Yes, I did. And she was incredible. Like, she was awesome. I from what I understand, she's not a real tall lady and not a big lady. And from what I could tell on the streets in California, she was fearless. And if anybody, I might
after someone.
Do what?
She chased down the road after someone.
Well, I was gonna say I could maybe try to find that link. But she was very knowledgeable. She was very approachable. But yet she was like, don't tread on me, She was awesome. Yeah. So where'd she go? She's probably still mopping her dang floors.
Yeah, Bling Bling, where are you? Anyway, she'll come back in a second. That was you, Lesia. I thought it was Bling Bling for a moment.
No.
Anyway, so she's been out doing a bit of flat smacking. So there you go. That's good, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Playing with your mop.
My doorbell went off, which is so unusual because I live in the country and we have like gates and then it was like my girlfriend's here and I completely forgot that I promised, because I'm an amateur photographer, and I forgot that I promised to do a little portfolio of her today because she's applying for some jobs. So she's here. She's brought a whole change of wardrobe, so we're going to basically have a little fashion show. I'm so sorry, but I told her at dusk, the lighting's too harsh. I can't shoot in this lighting. This is the worst lighting, especially for a woman in her 50s, unless she wants to look, So, I'm not going to be able to stay very much longer. I'm so sorry, Karen. I completely forgot about this, but she didn't. She's here. She's just coming into my house. She's bringing her wardrobe. She's about to walk in my house.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have to leave you ladies to do her. I mean, I promised. And she is looking for a job. She's a yachty. She works in the yacht industry. So she's applying for work.
oh, brilliant.
So I'm so sorry about that. I mean, just
We'll have fun.
yeah. Well, I can stay for a little bit here because, like I said, the lighting is too harsh. You can't shoot and I look, it's too bright. Like I'm not gonna get anything.
You mean too bright? Well, remember when you did the chicken shot?
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of Photoshop in that. Let's just wait a little bit more. So we got some.
Well, I have to figure out. She said we're bringing it. Show you.
Sorry, guys.
Well,
You see,
is she a flat earther by any chance?
She is not a flat earther. No, she's
Oh.
not. She's kind of been listening a lot though because I've bombarded her for the last few years with flat earth.
Oh.
So whenever I'm around her, she can't really get away from it. She's very
Yeah.
polite.
Does she have any questions for Roxanne or anyone else?
I don't know if she has any questions. I think in time she will come around to the truth because, as you know, the community is growing exponentially. And that's why someone like Bill Nye would have to make these crazy videos like the one that I don't know when he did that interview, but it's unbelievable. You guys have to watch it. Karen, put the link in the chat so the people can open that and save it and watch it after the hangout. It's absolutely shocking. I mean, unless he's MK Ultra'd, there's something definitely wrong with him. When he sat there and did not actually answer any of the interviewer's questions, and the guy interviewing him is someone on the board at NASA, and he kept just saying flat Earth, and it's quite hilarious. The questions were answered with him bringing up flat Earth. He said that we live under a dome, and in the end of the video, he said that the basically farming is useless, which made no sense. It just random. He said Disney. He said McDonald's. He said Disney. He was saying random words. He absolutely made no sense, and it was like he was having like some kind of a meltdown, some kind of MK Ultra meltdown. I was shocked. I wrote quite a long response to who had posted the video, which was the gentleman. Oh, what's his name now? Oaks, something like. I can't think of who it is now. And I sent it to Karen. Karen just posted a link.
I've done it.
Totally worth watching to like have a huge laugh to see how he could look so foolish. And this is the globe representation. This is the person, this is the science guy that everyone listens to and watches, who couldn't form a sentence, who just kept saying flat Earth, said we lived under a dome, and just kept bringing up flat Earth. It was actually probably said flat Earth at least 4 times. So I was pretty happy he kept saying it, and just looked like he was ready to have some kind of a complete mental breakdown. They will never ask him to be on an interview again. I'm very sure of that. Impossible. You can't work with that. So that's that.
Well, I put the link in the chat room, but when I was going, Bling, Bling, where are you? You've been doing you went to Hollywood, didn't you? And you did some flat
Yes, I did. I went. Oh, it was so great. It was so much fun. And it's very, it's just such a freeing experience to be able to be face to face with people on such a large scale. And they're all busy Hollywood Boulevard people walking all the time, nonstop, and being able to, and people were just coming up as well, but stopping people, handing out the flyer that Nathan Thompson has put together. And he's so great. He was so much fun. And just seeing all these people wearing NASA shirts, and they all got flat smacked. In fact, there was one moment where I was literally running down the street after, or pretty much hobbling down the street after someone because of my ankle problem, but I wasn't going to let him like just leave it like that. And then he came back later for more information after I had ran after him. So it was worth doing that. But you definitely make a difference when you flat smack face to face. I don't think there's any better way to do it. people can't hide behind a computer screen and call you a retard. And I mean, if they don't want to talk about it, you know, you'll get the rude people, but they're not anywhere near the rude level of on a channel. And I really like that. And I just really enjoyed, and I can't wait to do it some more. Like I said, I would like to start doing it on Juno Beach over where I live. And I'd like to set up a tent for shade and set up some lawn chairs and have my tripod and my camera and have a big sign that says something like, I don't believe we live on a spinning ball, change my mind. And try to just keep the word flat earth out of that title, because there's so much negative, you know, people, oh, you're a flat earther, like, you know, they see the negative videos on flat earth and then they think we're all ridiculous because they haven't seen any of the information that actually makes sense. So this way, having them come up to me and prove to me that we live on a spinning ball in outer space, opposed to me saying, I believe the world's flat, listen to what I have to say. I think it's a good way of doing it. It's kind of like how that Louder with Crowder operates. I don't know if anyone watches him. He's not a flat earther or anything, but he's very thought-provoking, and he goes to universities and he'll set up his table and he'll pose a question and he'll say, change my mind. And he gets all kinds of people lined up to talk to him. So I thought I would kind of model what I want to do after how he does it, because I think it's so successful. So that's kind of my plans for the future. Still, of course, make videos, but, you know, it gets daunting watching so much footage of NASA. And of course, I don't just watch NASA. I watch all the space agencies that put together any material whatsoever. So it includes China. And that's just another whole mess right there. They make so many mistakes. It's ridiculous what they come out with. I have a video coming out just dedicated to them. And there's so many other countries that are planning on sending rockets. And now that they're opening up the commercial side of it, there's going to be even more companies coming out claiming to be sending rockets to space. So we're going to have lots of people to pick on soon enough. So I look forward to that. But just watching ISS footage it's gross. I mean, think about it. It's something I hate doing, but I love to find the mistakes. But it's so awful to watch something that you despise so much, and how they lie to children. That's the part that bothers me more than anything else, is these young impressionable minds, like we were when we were 5 and we went to kindergarten and saw the globe, and they started to tell us that we lived on it, and we all had the same reaction. How does that work? How could people be underneath it? You know, none of it made sense. We had legitimate, valid questions because we were critically thinking at 5 years old, and then we were shut down right away saying, oh, no, it's gravity, and you know, this is why, and you know, you're a little bit too young to understand all that. And then it's kind of left, and then you're just sat in front of the TV, and then you see in every TV show, every commercial, there's always a reference to it. Go to the movies, you always see the universe of the globe. It's just so put into your mind that it just becomes a part of you, and that's why people are so deeply indoctrinated to it. And then here we are trying to undo all of that brainwashing. It's not easy, especially with the closed-minded people. It's very tough. That's why we get so attacked on our channels. That's why we're called so many things and get so many threats and everything else. And anyone that makes content totally will understand what I'm talking about. You know, it's not easy. You have to be very thick-skinned in this to make content. And I had to back away for a little while because I got death threats against not only myself, but my family, my children especially. That to me was crossing the line. You know, if I go after me, but my kids are not the ones making the content, so why should they be some kind of on a hit list somewhere where someone would want to actually physically harm them because their mother makes videos that are anti-space station? It makes absolutely no sense. People are crazy behind their computer screens. That's why I said it's nice to see people's faces, and people are a lot nicer face to face than they are. They're not going to look at me and say, I want to kill you on the street. They're not going to say, I want your children to die. They're not going to say that. They're not going to tell me to eat bleach on the street. They may say, that's crazy. I don't believe that. That's ludicrous, and walk away. But they're not going to say anything close to what they do behind their computer screen. Don't you, Roxanne? You probably know what I'm talking about because you've done both. You know, like you don't get people say that they want you to drink bleach to your face.
No,
No,
it's a
of
different
course
story
not.
when you're out the street. It's all right, yeah.
People have a
Yeah.
filter when it's face to face, but when you remove that and they're autonomous, they can say or do whatever they want. They have that feeling of power being invisible, and I'm quite sick of it. So I do like the flat smacking face to face. I think it's fantastic, and anyone that wants to get involved in the community, I think that's the route we should be all going now, opposed to making the content. I think we've proved our point that the earth is flat. We've covered every base. And of course, you know, all of us that have made videos to prove that the space station is nothing but contrived in a warehouse somewhere, we've proven that too. So now what we need to do is spread that news to the population of the world, which is massive. As we know, there's so many people in every corner of the flat earth. There's people that have never heard of it. Even still now, you know, if you mention it and they're like, you will get people that say, what is that? I've never heard of this. What are you talking about? So it's not like everyone's heard it yet. There's still, we've made a little chip in the population, but not
Can I
even
ask
a
you a
dent.
question? Can I ask you a question real
Yes,
quick? Based
sure.
on what you just said, would you say though that more people than not, okay, that you have like come across have at least, or you know, that you've spoke with or heard that have at least heard about flat Earth than say a year ago? Than a year ago,
I wish I could say yes to that, but I don't feel that yet.
right?
I don't.
Oh,
But you do. There are people that will come up to you and say they are a flat earther already, and that's so great when it happens. But I still feel that there's more people that have not heard about it than have heard about it from the small little amount of population that we actually do see. Now, when John was doing this, it'd be more interesting. Like, and I'm sure Roxanne, you probably would be able to say, you know, because you were out there too, what percentage of people in the UK, in those little towns, actually have heard of it compared to have never heard of it. And I'm kind of guessing it's probably going to be what I already said, but what's your answer to that, Roxanne?
Right, so I don't think the answer is kind of clear cut, because I think you can have pockets of parts of the country where there genuinely are somewhat relatively more open-minded people than in other places. I think the Globe Live tour was really kind of representative of that. But you know, if I was just to use Speaker's Corner as an example, it's far less hard work than it was 6 months ago.
Sure.
But then that's because we've kept repetition of the conversation going. I think had we only done June and then gone back at the end of the year, having never done any conversations happening in between, I think it would have just been as perpetually difficult as the first time. Would you agree, Andrea? I think it's because we've done that perpetual conversation there that we've now kind of got past that initial wave of.
Yeah, I think it's also the ripple effect, isn't it? Because you have one person, and then you speak to they'll go and they will speak to others, and that's somehow that can be more important than, you know, trying to wake up this sort of mass. And I also have the feeling that actually there are not everyone is supposed to wake up. You know, as much as we would like it to be this sort of mass awakening of people, it's just, I don't know that's the way it's going to happen. Just my feeling.
No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I often say that to people. They're just not meant to see.
Yeah. And I, you know, on my own personal journey, I think it's evolved in, and obviously, you know, I've sort of stood in this on the sidelines with Dave, but it's more about now being the light, or being the truth, sort of living my life in that, and I think that you then attract those people that, or you find yourself in situations where you attract people that will want to know that, rather than you know, because it can become, and Roxanne, you were saying this earlier, it can become quite energetically draining to be you know, putting all that energy into the situation where not a lot of people want to hear it. I mean, I would sort of stand in the periphery and watch, and you know, a lot of people just they're so programmed to just think it's a joke, and so they'll walk past and they'll laugh. They'll obviously name call. You know, there'll be a few genuine people who will inquire, but it is quite taxing. So I think on a personal level, you know, that, which is why Dave and I decided to start that sort of meetup truth talks, because we wanted people to make the choice to come rather than you know, necessarily go and hit them over the head with it. But you know, that's just an approach that you know, I feel more comfortable with, because I think, you know, for me, once you have, you know, researched the whole flat earth, and again, I say this with respect to everybody who's doing their thing, but you know, once you've reached that point, it's like, okay, where do I go with that for myself? And for me, it's about, sorry, my finger's in the way. It's about you know, finding a way.
Hello?
Whoops.
That's all right. Just lost you for a second there, Andrea.
Something happened. You know, I wanted to also mention that, do you know that there's a community that has never stopped? They've worked so tirelessly in regards to 9/11. And now that it's actually, they've got 57 points of evidence. It's going to a grand jury. So when people finally wake up and see that the government did lie, because, you know, they always say, why would they lie to us? You know, when they see that the government lied on a massive scale, I think they're going to be more open-minded to what else have they lied about. And I'm quite looking forward to that day.
What are you talking about? Bling Bling? What are you saying? I didn't hear that.
A press release had gone out, but of course, none of the major networks picked it up. A lot of smaller local newspapers did. There is a huge group of engineers and architects that have been working very hard in putting together, and it's a massive document, and it points out 57 strong pieces of evidence to show that 9/11 was not anything like what was the official story to it, and that they have now gotten it to the point through the legal system that it's going in front of a grand jury. And when that happens, I mean, the evidence is so profound, it's so strong that it's not going to be ignored any longer. And then once the general public finds out the truth on 9/11, I think they're going to be way more leery on official stories of anything. So we're not going to look so foolish, you know, and I don't think they're going to be asking that question any longer on why would the government lie to us? Because if they could lie about 9/11, they'll lie about everything. And I'll get the link, and I'll send it to Karen, and she can pass it along to you. Or you can email me at blingbling, the BS of the ISS at gmail.com, and I'll send you the link to all of the information, and you can read the actual document that they have with all the evidence. It's compelling. It's amazing. There's no way that that's not going to wake up everybody on that grand jury panel. Those are just regular people that get picked to be on a grand jury. They're all going to see it, and there's no way that they're going to turn around and go, no, that's not strong enough evidence. It's amazing evidence. It's not conjecture. It's not, you know, oh, I think. It's actually solid proof. And I think there was 3,000 architects that actually had signed. One of those people was actually our dear beloved Brian Mullen, that got chased off of Flat Earth and off of his channel because of being threatened to, I don't know what, he thought maybe lose his job. He was licensed in 5 states to do his job as an engineer. I think that he was frightened being a new parent and newly married. I don't blame him for, you know, having to walk away. I'm sure he still watches quietly in the background. I know he never changed his mind. He knows the truth. He was showing it in all his videos, using, you know, all of his talent, his education, with physics, proving about rockets and being unable to fly in space and everything else that he was doing. So he's on that. He's in that community. He signed up for that. So he's part of all of this. So I'm quite excited to see how many people don't know about this. Yet it was a press release, and I'll send you the link to the press release as well. It's not some made up thing. It's real. It's really going to the grand jury. Now, I don't know when that's going to happen, but I have been following it. They have a huge website talking all about it. So it's very interesting, and it's really going to help the truth community to, again, prove that we're not all conspiracy people running around with tinfoil on our heads, that we have valid reasons for what we believe to be true based off of empirical and scientific evidence and solid scientific proof. So,
well, it's better late than never, I suppose, but it would have been better if this had been done about a decade or more ago, wouldn't it?
I know, right? But at least it's happening. The truth is going to come out, and I think there's going to be an avalanche of people now wanting to know what else is true that they don't know about. It's going to change minds like crazy. This is the best thing that's ever going to happen to Flat Earth, I believe, when this finally all comes out. So be prepared for another huge wave of people learning the truth of where we live, that we're not on a spinning ball in outer space, that we live on a flat stationary Earth. And we were created. We're not, a bunch of soulless beings traveling through the infinite space in a godless world as specks and stardust and nothing and insignificant and all those things that have been said about us, which is just nauseating, really. That we are special, unique, created, one of a kind, no one else like us. There are no planets to go walk on and, everything else. I've been looking actually at some research proving that not only, of course, the space station, of course, I know that is completely hoax, but a lot of great compelling evidence to prove that absolutely they've never been to Mars, that they're not there now, that they've never been, that there was never any of these little vehicles that they've sent up on three occasions prior to this newest thing that they did, that it's all just goes along with how they misappropriate the funds from our taxpaying dollars to produce this lie to continue to keep the people focused on space for whatever reason, perhaps to push forward the other agendas of the world, with the
Bling, Bling, your doggy woggies, they're barking like mad.
I know, I'm sorry, I can't really stop Bella. She's old. She probably can't even hear me, but let me try. Hold on.
Hey, sorry about that. Right, Marty Leeds wanted to see your dog, Roxanne. It's got a tracksuit on or something.
He hasn't got a tracksuit on.
The dog does?
No, he hasn't got a tracksuit on, but Kenny's here. Hold
on. Hey, Kenny.
Okay. I can't believe I'm doing this. Hey, Kenny. You're right. Everyone wants to say hi, so.
Oh, he's cute.
Okay. Yeah, he was chilling.
Cute.
Normally he would have reacted to the dogs barking, but not today. He was just happily chilling and chillaxing. So
sorry about that, guys. I guess you could hear my big dog barking.
That would have been awful if like your dog had started barking as well. We'd have had a dog hangout.
I have a house of dogs. Yes. I have
for
two
sure.
big dogs and a little dog. I can't, I'm not getting to them.
She's got a dog there as well, isn't she? My dog's not up here.
I have two here. My dog is barking at the neighbors at the moment. That's why I'm staying muted.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I heard it.
Wait, I do want to show you something, though. Let's see.
It is what it is. We're all people in our houses. We're not in studios,
Roxanne, come here.
This isn't the nightly news.
Hey, BB. Come here, BB. Aw. BB. Come here, BB. Look. Oh, sure. Okay. She doesn't want to be on camera. Never mind.
What kind of a dog is that? I just got a flash of a dog.
She's got little ribbons on.
There she is. BB.
Oh, it's a little poodle.
Hello, baby. Hi, BB. Oh, look, Zena's so jealous. Hi, BB.
Zena.
Hi. I'm dog sitting for this poodle. Yeah, Zena's over there.
I love the mutts. The Heinz 57.
Hey, baby. Okay.
Who doesn't love dogs?
There's a little meme that goes around. It says, I feel sorry for people that don't have dogs. They have to actually get up. They have to actually clean up the food off the floor when it's dropped or something like that.
That's true, right?
Yes.
But still,
Yep.
people, it's just they don't know what unconditional love is until they've had a dog.
But there's cat people out there too, and I mean, I'm not anti-cat.
I have a cat, but
yeah,
my cats are like this. You'll call them, they may come up to you and they'll say, "Put it in writing, and I'll get back to you." They just, that's how cats operate. They'll come. They're very needy.
Yeah.
For their own needs. They're selfish little creatures. They just want to come when they come and get what they need. And then, in fact, if you overstimulate them by petting them, they'll bite you on the hand and then off they go. I've always had cats too, so I'm certainly not anti-cat. We have one here now. I have a cat. We've always had cats with the dogs, but it's the dogs that are the ones that show that unconditional love. Sorry, cat people. The cats just are not capable of doing that for whatever reasons. But I still love them. They're still very cute, just they're not the same.
My dog snores when we're on the hangout. She isn't up here at the moment. She's downstairs, but she snores away. And I just think people just don't think it's me while this dog's snoring under my desk. He snores really badly.
I think I've heard you blame that on Patricia.
No, Patricia doesn't snore.
Poncho Pete snores on his hangouts often.
Well, he's going 24 hours a day. He's got to sleep sometime, right?
Exactly. Hey, Bling Bling, you were asked in the chat a little bit earlier by GMCDX, if I'm saying it right. When are you going back to California?
Oh, well, I'm not going back to San Diego, sadly. It rips my heart out. But my husband has now moved, and he's in Nogales, Arizona. So I might be flying out there. I don't know. It sounds like kind of like a not that great of a place.
Being there though, Bling Bling. You might meet up with Mr. Thrive and Survive.
Oh, well, that's true. And I know I could meet up with Carolyn and Hori because they're out there as well. So we'll see. Now with the government shutdown and no paychecks coming in, I may have to. I don't know how long it's going to go on for, but in the early 90s, it went on for 72 days. So we're okay for a while. But it's kind of scary thinking like until this is resolved, we're not getting, or my husband's not getting his paycheck, yet he is considered an essential government worker and he has to be on his job. And like I said, he's on a TDY, and so
that's still continuing.
Southern border.
Thinking about that, so that's still continuing. They've not been paid.
No, well, someone was telling me today that they thought they were going to see one more paycheck on Saturday, but I don't know. I thought we saw our last one 2 weeks ago. We'll see. This Saturday will be payday, so if it's not in the account, then I'll know that it's not coming. I guess I could probably log into the website and see, but it's frustrating. The U.S. has a strong policy against negotiating with terrorists, and I know that this is not a terrorism event, but I feel like the government is being held hostage now over the Dems not agreeing to the specifications of this wall. So they're using the government as, like the hostage. And I don't think that's right. It only affects the workers. It's not affecting the members of like Congress. They're still going to get their paychecks. So I don't know how it can equate to getting a wall by withholding paychecks from the people that work so hard for the government. My husband, 24 years on the job, defending this country with the job he has. It's very dangerous. He carries a gun. He's been in very, very difficult situations at times. When we lived in the Bahamas, we were assaulted twice on the street. It's not easy. And to think that now he's at the southern border where they're expecting a huge amount of the caravan to show up to, that he could be in harm's way and not getting paid his paycheck. It's like they're holding on to, we'll pay you later. It just makes me sick, actually. I can see, okay, they closed the parks. That hurts Americans that like to go on the snowbirds to go into these parks and things like that. But essential workers that actually carry a gun, they should be getting their paycheck. I'm sorry, it's just wrong. It's messed up. and it could very well go on for a very long time. There was a meeting this morning. Trump basically said the meeting, it did not, again, go well, and it was over in a couple of minutes. In fact, and then he, what he said today? He said that, oh, I never said that Mexico would pay for the wall, even though we have him on video sitting with the Mexican president asking him to pay for the wall, and the president said no. Like, I've seen the video. I'm sure many people have seen it. People in the chat have seen it. So basically, he's acting like that never happened, and he's trying to say that he never meant for Mexico to pay directly for the wall. And then he goes on to say that through his negotiation of this great trade deal, that will be paying for the wall. But at least have some integrity and tell the truth and say, I'm sorry. I hope that they would pay for it, but they're not going to. But I figured out another solution to pay for the wall. But don't lie and say that he never expected Mexico to actually pay for the wall, because he said it a million times. That was part of his platform. And then he sat with the president and he said no. So we have all of that evidence. For him to turn around and say he never really said that is a blatant lie. And it's pretty disgusting to me, because, I am an anarchist. I don't believe in the government anyways. I'd rather have Trump in there, or I thought I did, over Hillary. There wasn't any real great choices, one or two, A or B. But I don't know if we really need a wall. I mean, I've seen all these areas because of my husband's job. I've seen the areas in Texas. I've seen the areas in California. I've seen the areas in New Mexico and in Arizona where they do have walls, and where they have hundreds of Border Patrol agents that continually drive back and forth in pickup trucks. It's not like there's no one around and they're just running across. There's all kinds of people stopping this. So yes, some people do slip in, but I don't know if he makes it sound like there's like nothing out there when there's all kinds of walls and protection. It just doesn't go on forever. Like, where people I don't even think would cross because it's too remote. It would be too far to walk to try to come in through areas hundreds of miles away where there's nothing. They would perish out there. So it really makes no sense to try to cover the entire, southern area with a wall, when no one is probably going to go out there to cross it anyways. So I don't know why it's so important to him to have this. I think it's a matter of pride, because he kept saying it, and being a narcissist, he has to be right, and he's not going to back down. So I don't think he's going to back away. He's not going to reopen the government until he gets his way, like a spoiled little boy. So this could go on for all of 72 days like it did in the 90s, or even further. So it's really kind of shitty. So me going back to anywhere right now is kind of like a little bit of extravagance in spending for me, because we have to want to watch. I don't want to start cashing in our CDs to be able to pay our bills. We're just like anyone else. We have bills. So I would like to go, but Nogales, Arizona is like a nothing place. There's nothing there. I think there's a Walmart. There's a couple of hotels. It's a huge border crossing, one of the biggest ones. And that's it. It's not like San Diego was the time of my life. I went twice. I had so much fun. Beautiful. Next to Nogales, Arizona is like a hole in the wall. So and it's really expensive to get a ticket there to Tucson. I think the cheapest ticket I saw was $800, and I was getting tickets for $200 to go to San Diego. So probably the answer is no. That's the long version, sorry.
Oh, dearie me. So good start to 2019 there. Yeah, not good. Well, you'll keep me abreast with the news on that, Bling Bling.
Oh, of course, I talk to you every day.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question about the whole Trump thing? Because this is obviously, I don't really watch the news. And now and again, I'll see a headline pop up somewhere. But for me, the kind of view I have is that Trump he was meant to be president now. It's all part of a much bigger game that's being played. And actually the wall thing is all just a bit of a It's just a bit of a story. It's just a little bit of a story that's got to be played out. It's a bit like, it strikes me a bit like the whole Brexit thing. You know, the whole Brexit thing is just like storm in a teacup. It's like keeping us, you know, sheeple, involved in something that actually is part of a much bigger thing, and they know how it's going to play out.
Yeah. So you think they sit around laughing about it, having cocktails, laughing about how stupid we all are? The Dems and the Republicans having cocktails? Probably.
I do. And, you know, actually the symbolism behind Trump, you know, and his name, you know, Trump being the trumpet,
this isn't with the real government. I agree.
For those people yeah, of course.
I do feel like this whole situation is a bit of a double standard, given that the Democrats funded a 287-mile-long wall in Jordan last year. Like in another country, they funded it like 100 miles long, like long wall.
Them their wall.
Funded by the Democrats last year, like they happily funded it, and so it does feel like a bit of a double standard. With regards to, you know, exposing who the deep state really is, if that makes sense, if you want to buy into the deep state ethos of it. I think it's incredibly telling what's playing out in the mainstream media at the moment. I think the mainstream media is trying its utmost to subvert and try and smooth over and sweep everything under the carpet as to what's actually going on, as usual. But I think at this point, I think what we're watching is it possibly starting to bubble over the top. And if you do start connecting the dots, we all know they're puppets. Mm-hmm. But puppets for which side? Are we watching the change of the old guard just now? Are we watching the deep state getting taken out of their seat as we sit here now talking? These last few months have been quite telling, haven't they? When you look at international events that are going on, it all looks like a bit of a WF wrestling match where they're all playing their part. Like Andrea said, they're all playing their role, doing what they need to do. But
wrestling is real. Didn't Cindy Lauper say that one?
If you buy into the ethos of the whole cabal and everything that the deep state stands for, then we might have been involved in that for the last few decades. And if you are one of those that knows about the dark and the light and good and bad and that whole, moon, sun, daylight, nighttime, where there's dark, there'll always be light. And I think, it might be, quite promising to think that we might be living in a time right now where the deep state's getting taken out of its seat. So I think
that's possible.
That's my 2 cents worth on it anyway.
I haven't studied that enough to really give much of an opinion on that, but sounds plausible to me, Roxanne. Anything's possible. It's certainly never as it appears. That's for sure.
Sarah's joined us. Just as she's sitting there. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Hey guys. How are you getting
on?
Hi,
Sarah.
I was just listening. So carry on.
Listen, I'm so sorry, but I am going to have to go. My girlfriend has been so patient. She's standing out in the front on the phone, but I know she's watching the light is starting to change. It's almost at the point where I can get some decent shots. And I did promise her. And she brought me Montreal smoked meat. So I have to help her out.
Thanks for staying for a bit, Bling Bling.
But love all you guys.
Love you.
Thanks,
we love
you. Everyone in the chat, thank you. Sorry, I got to run, but we'll do this again soon. We'll do another ladies' night, Karen, and I promise we won't have a distraction. All right, carry on. I'll listen to the playback.
Bye, darling.
Okay,
bye,
darling.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Hey. Well, Sarah, there's a little pause then. Sarah lives in Scotland. And Sarah, I don't know if you've met, just to say who's on the hangout, that was Bling Bling who's gone.
Yes.
Roxanne is here. Have you been on a hangout with Roxanne before? I'm not sure if you, I think you have.
Yes.
Yes,
I think,
I have. Yes, nice to see
Roxanne.
you.
Hey, getting on, Roxanne. Yes, I remember you. So.
There's Patricia, and there's Andrea, who's here, who does a lot of activism now, or starting to do activism, and then there's Lesia from America. I think you've been on a hangout with her before.
Yes, I have. She's the one writing a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you're there, explain a bit about your book. How's your book going?
Good. Got my cover done. My cover is complete for book 1, and I've just opened up my Amazon author account, basically, so I can now start getting all else organized today. A bit crazy. It's been crazy, it's been a really nice sort of Christmas relaxing time over there, but now it's all going to get really, really busy, I think, the run up to
when's your book going to be released then?
28th of March. It's scary, incredibly scary. It really is. Kind of really nervous, very, very, very nervous.
And Sarah, just while you're there, explain this whole thing behind your book, because you've put the book in fiction, but you're actually talking about flat Earth.
Yeah, it's fantasy. So yes, fantasy, and it was a really good page. Fantasy, is it fantasy fiction? It's just another Facebook page, and this guy. He put on there, he was writing a story or whatever, he was talking about it, and he has said his is based on a flat Earth, and I was just like, so I basically messaged him and I said, it's good to see another fella author basically, and he says, there's not many of us around. So I said no, and it's nice to see somebody else sort of testing the waters and seeing how it comes off. So yes, comes under the genre of fantasy fiction, but as I say, it's got a lot of complex storylines going through it, and it's built on realms and planes. So yeah, it's put across in that way, I suppose, if that helps at all. I hate answering these questions, Karen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, I'm joking, yeah. I always think I answer them terribly.
For me, but for anybody in the chat room, yeah.
Yes. Yes, go on.
Well, I'm really pleased for you, and thanks for doing it and all your hard work, because obviously we've been following you for quite a few months now, and it's been going on, it's a lot of work, isn't it? It
is, because as I say, you can't have the stories just purely on focusing purely on that. Otherwise, you're not going to engage your readers into the story. It's as I say, that's the setting of it. And so instead of you talking about having planets and solar systems, I have none of that. I have it as a setting of planes and realms. And so at the end, at the very, very center, which I think I spoke to you about previously, is at the center of each plane you have what I call them axes, basically, where each what we would call like the North Pole or whatever it is there, that's sort of like the causes like compass and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what it's built on, and I kind of delve into that very later on in the series. And I build these extra worlds that are outside of what we class as Earth, but I call it Gaia. So I build extra realms and planes that are outside of here, and you bring them into the story that way through each individual character, where they've come from their own homeland. Does that make sense? So those other planes outside of here, and that's where these people have come from previously, but they have no recollection of it. But I tell their stories at the end of each book. So that's what I do. So clever in some way, you sort of draw the reader into the book that way through their stories and their lives. But it's not purely focused on it. So, yeah, it keeps my mind busy.
How many books have you done now?
I'm still on book 3. I'm still on book 3. But I'd say I took about 2-3 weeks off over Christmas because I needed the break. Really needed just the time to wind down, because the next couple of weeks are going to be crazy, really, really crazy. So, well into book 3. I've got about 5 chapters left to do. So.
Yeah, I came across Sarah making a video about her contemplation about becoming a flat earther. But Sarah lives near the water, and so basically she lives near the sea. So every time she looked out the window, she couldn't really get away from it.
Beautiful, I know. Yeah, yes. I think, as I say, it's mind-boggling. It's a very, very mind-boggling thing when you open your mind up to flat Earth. And for me, as I say, I needed something to sort of channel those thoughts into something, and this is as productive as I could do it. You know, the way I can actually channel my mental energy into something. Yeah, for me, everyone has something right.
Yeah, but you struggle as well, don't you? Because I don't think your husband's a flat earther, is he?
Oh no, no way, no way, no. It was just, well, it's quite nice having having my team behind me, supporting me through doing this. Otherwise, there's no way I would have continued as far as I have probably. But no, so it's a very, very small place where I'm from anyway. A very small village. Husband hasn't got a care for it at all. So.
Sorry, my computer's going there. Oh, if I ever log into Facebook, it always bleeps me. Thank you for that, Sarah. You have us though. You have us.
I do have you guys, and actually, say last connection I have really kind of to flat Earth people, because I try to. My main focus is on the books, so you are my kind of last reach, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do have you guys, and it's nice to still kind of keep in touch with this side of things.
Yeah.
And still keeps you grounded, I suppose.
So how long have you been a flat earther for? Just asking. I know that I've asked you before, but maybe some people in the chat room don't know. So how long have you been a flat earther?
It was in the October before last, wasn't it? So a year and a half, something like that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
What about you? How long have you been a flat earther?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, it sort of came to me the end of 2015, and I just I don't know, me and my life, I'd done all this bit about psychology, which I really got into, and then 9/11 took 3 years, and then it was like I saw that and I thought, no, nothing else. And I left it for a few weeks, and then person I knew, they were going to do something about Nibiru, and I thought, well, I'm going to go and debunk flat earth. I watched one video, that was it for me. That was it. Just so yeah, what about you, Andrea?
Probably about a year. I mean, obviously flat earth was in my world for quite a while, because Dave had already kind of gone there, and he was he was talking about it non-stop. But I was on my own journey of I was looking at different lies or truths or so I was kind of getting there, but I was getting there in my own way. And but I was very much had cognitive dissonance. I was like, shut up already. I don't want to hear about this flat earth thing anymore. And then it was one morning, Martin Kenny had released his first, I think, video where he had made the model, and I think I'd started to sort of soften because certain things had happened, and I watched it, and I cried watching it. So that was my kind of realization into it. So I'm not sure the exact date. It's roughly a year, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, around then.
Yeah, once you go flat, well, I have heard that someone has gone back this week, but once you go flat, I just can't see how you can go back.
Do you know what? I think the going back, I think once you've kind of stepped through the door, then you start to see other things. And I think that's the thing for me. It's not just, okay, I'm stuck here at Flat Earth. There's more. And for me, it's even more than that. It's about my own self. It's actually, it started something for me in my truth about my inward journey, about my my own cosmos, about myself. So it's I don't know. I don't think you can go back. The only thing I would say, which I was about to say, is that I go back because, boy, oh boy, you do get a rough ride when people know that you think the earth is flat, from family to friends to the public. And sometimes you have to think to yourself, oh my goodness, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this?
Task. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough path to take, but I just have this knowing. I have this deep knowing that keeps me back. It puts me back on track. And obviously it helps that Dave and I are on the same page. So,
which is great when you're married. It is though, isn't it? It's better when your partner's in with you, isn't it?
For sure. We have such stimulating conversations about all sorts of things. We don't really need to debate too much on the whole flat Earth thing anymore. There's so much to take in, but again, most importantly, our own, keeping it centered on our own inward journey as well. Because that's where it's led us, or it certainly led me, and I know I could probably say the same for Dave. So yeah, it does help having a partner, but essentially a community. And I think that's what we both feel we hope to find more of, is a community.
Yeah, building the community, I understand, around you.
Yeah, people who are like-minded, or certainly open-minded, who are willing to have the conversation, because a lot of people are not even willing to have the conversation.
Yeah, well said.
I know, and then some of us can't stop having that conversation, and it's a great big part of our life.
True, very true.
Roxanne, your partner doesn't mind flat Earth, does he?
No. That was one of the first things I did when I woke up, was waking up the kids and my other half, and I felt like I wasn't really going to be able to function properly as an individual unless the household I lived within was on the same page as me. And it wasn't a case of browbeating them and forcing them into it. I had to break it down over a long period. It was arduous. I'm not going to, beat around the bush with that. It was an arduous journey waking them up. I had to be like triply sure that I wasn't coming out of one belief system and going into another. Once I realized that I was living in a belief system and not in a factual system, for me, it was arduous, because I think the first thing I wanted to do was possibly have something to cling on to when I realized it wasn't what I'd been taught. Because the first thing you do, well, if it wasn't what I was taught, then what is it? And I realized that it's okay to not have all the answers, but at least acknowledge that you know what it's not, remove all the variables off the table, so to speak. So for me, ever since then, I've just been on a pursuit of truth, of trying to work out what, why, when, who, and what to do about it. I think they're some of the most fundamental questions that we have, right? Who we are, why we're here, and where we are.
Yes.
So I think Andrea's really hit the nail on the head with that. I think once you wake up to the fact that you've been lied to in the worst way, and your whole life's been a lie, everything in realistically speaking in your reality has been falsified somewhat. I think the next thing you have to do as a person is go, right, it's not what it is. Now what? Now you need to kind of work on you as a person, work out what kind of baggage you've brought from your asleep life into your awake life, and try and work through it as best as you can, so that you can kind of, not for the want of sounding cliche, but to try and live a clean life, because you realize how muddy the waters were when you were asleep in the first place. And it's a long process. You didn't get there overnight being that asleep. So I wouldn't expect, coming out of it's going to be a 24-hour process in the first place. So I'm still on my pursuit of truth, wherever that's going to take me. And in the meantime, I'm still going to be asking other people, have you taken it as a given? Have you ever questioned what you've been taught? And if not, why? And if you have, why and what? And try to make the conversation socially acceptable.
Yeah, I just want to say that Trouble About has joined us. Hello, Trouble About. It's tomorrow for her. It's the 11th already.
Morning. Morning, darling.
Good morning.
Yeah, she's in Australia.
Australia, yeah.
She's been on twice this week, which is great. I'll come to you just in a second, Trouble. I was a bit like Sarah, although I said the first video did it for me, but I spent months like trying to debunk it still, because it is a bit of a shock to find out everything that you believed in or was told or taught or knew was a lie. And but then it comes to that stage months later. I've got like a Facebook group. It just goes on, and it changed for me. And then I felt like I wanted to help do something about it as best as I could. So I was a bit like Sarah, like I watched video after video, and it was always saying the same thing to me, but you still watch them again, and then it moves on, doesn't it? Flat Earth is more than a word. There's the sun, the moon, the stars, there's the land, photography.
That's very true. It is. It's more than just words. That's very true.
It's everything.
Yeah.
And you start looking at everything, don't you?
Mm-hmm. As I say, for me, it was the tipping point. For me, that was the famous saying. It was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. That just, for every single thing I've ever researched, conspiracy, you can call them conspiracy theory, or piece of information that I've stumbled across, or rabbit hole I've run down. For me, Flat Earth was the last one. And I was just like, no, I can't take anymore. You know,
yeah, I remember
was personally for me. And so I think, as people were saying, that, you know, how can you? It must be really hard, obviously, or you know, I don't understand how two people can be together if they don't agree on something such as big as this. But you know, I've got family. You know what I mean? Flat Earth sort of came into my life after I'd gotten married and had children, and it's not something that controls my life no more. It used to. Once upon a time, it had a massive effect on my mental health, and seriously, it really did, because anybody would be able to admit it's a brain doozy. I'm trying not to swear, guys. I'm really trying not to swear, but it really is. It really messes with your head to figure out that you live somewhere that you was told that you didn't know, if that makes sense. You know, you're told that you live in this certain place, and it turns out you didn't. To me, as I say, it really snaps my brain.
Lie, isn't it? It's such a blatant lie.
So to me, it was hard to go back to normal. Very hard to be able to function. And it still is today, to be able to sit down and have
normal anymore. What do you call normal?
What's normal? As in
normal anymore?
You know, what's normal is to be able to. There isn't. To me, there isn't. There isn't a normal, but to be able to actually smile again, or actually engage into a conversation without it focusing on, you know what I mean, without it coming back to everybody. There's no, you're trying to, everything seems to come back to flat Earth. Every single conversation you have always seems to come back to flat Earth, and you're trying to have these conversations, but nobody wants to listen. And that's how, when it got so frustrating, as I say, me and my husband have had arguments over this. But again, I think I've not meaning it's a religion, but if you can't push your point of view, your understanding of your world that you live in onto somebody else, it has to be something that they discover and accept themselves. You can't force it, and that's where religion goes wrong, is because they're always trying to force something on you, whereas this can't be forced. Those people have to see it for themselves. If they want to, if they don't, they don't. It's a choice at the end of the day. But for me, I want to know the truth, and this truth for me was the last one that I was prepared to discover. It really was my last one. I was like, I can't take anymore. I'm not watching any more YouTube now anymore.
It must have given you something, though, because you're writing a book.
Yeah.
Books.
As I say, the books are flat, and it's got all the other stuff that I've ever come across, all the other conspiracy stuff to do with various different beings. That's the only way I can come up with, or to do with history, certain things that have happened over the course of our history and things like that. I'm squeezing as much into the books in the background as possible, because that's my truth. It doesn't mean it's the truth, but it's my truth that I live, and that just is the only way I can get it out without driving myself insane and bottling it up and trying to have these conversations. They say try and surround yourself with like-minded people. I tried that, but even somebody who's just open-minded, they're still going to have their own view, and you're still going to clash at the end of the day. So when you're trying to not force it, but you're trying to engage into certain conversations, they're very, very few and far between in the remote parts of Scotland where I live anyway. Maybe if you lived in a more built-up area, your chances of meeting more like-minded people increases, but not up here. It's like rewinding back in time when you're up in Scotland. So it's not so easy, not so easy.
Well, I'm glad that I found you, Sarah.
And I'm glad you found me too, Karen, because I love coming on and getting a chat with you guys. I love it. I just hope I don't ramble on too much sometimes.
Oh, no, you're lovely, Sarah. Don't worry about it. Can I just say hello, Trouble, again? I haven't really spoken to her yet. Trouble about. She's about.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I'm still not awake.
Yeah. What time is it for you?
It's gone 8 o'clock now. So I'm awake, but my brain's not really working. I'm just sort of here.
Anyway, just very quickly, Brett really enjoyed that hangout the other day.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And yeah, he wants another one, which we will arrange in due course. So that's good.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, he's a nice guy as well, because obviously he's new to Sun and Moon, and but he really enjoyed it, and yeah, he can talk as well, so it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, trouble about you don't have many people near you can talk to either, do you?
No, I don't have anyone. I mean, I know a couple of people online.
Me?
But we all live different lives anyway, so you don't get to talk to people much. But I don't leave the house very often, so.
You find that a bit frustrating though, don't you?
Oh yeah, I'm frustrated as hell. But yeah. No, it's okay. You have ups and downs, so there are days where it doesn't matter, and there are days where it shits me ears. You try and share information, and people just don't want to know, and I guess that's their right not to know, but yeah, you want to talk to someone about it, and there's no one to talk to.
You've always got us.
Yeah. But no one in the real world, you know, like my family thinks I'm nutty. And they don't want to hear about anything.
Quite surprised that more Australians aren't into flat Earth, considering how big and flat it is.
Well, and you'd think, because we're the joke of being the arse end of the world, so you'd think they'd like to get rid of that. I would. But no, look, I mean, the rest of the world doesn't exist to most of us over here. I mean, it does. We see it on the news. But, I mean, I've never met an American. They don't come to Australia. I've met heaps of Canadians and English and Welsh and Irish and all that. NASA, you can't have a conversation with people about NASA. They don't even know Elon Musk. They don't know there's a car in space. So you can't even debunk it with them because they don't even know it exists. But we're getting a NASA display at the museum sometime this year. First time ever we're getting NASA stuff in Australia. So maybe
pushing it.
Yeah, they worked out that Australians don't know anything, so we're not either way with NASA. It's like we went to the moon, did we go to the moon? Who knows? That's America, but it's nothing to do with us. Although the dish, because they did take apparently some of the you know, is it when you talk through the radio waves? Like the dish here took up some of the readings of the moon flight. Apparently, they lost contact with them, and then they could only get back in contact with them here. So they made a big movie about it and everything. That's the only reason I know. But I've been out to the dish. out at Parks. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's just this giant dish, just sitting there all on its own. Kind of drive out, and it's a bit disappointing because you go so far, and then you get there, it's just this dish, and nothing's open. There's nothing to see, so you turn around and come back.
Oh, well, boring then. So when did carry on? Sorry, go on then. Is it Andrea?
I just wanted to say something on the back of what Sarah said about, you know, not having to have the conversations continuously about flat Earth. Now, I think for me, you know, I've had to get to that point too, because and finding your own path when it comes to that, because there is a point where, for me anyway, that I've had to say, okay, well, I want to look at other things, what that means for me. I mean, it's obviously been a huge part of my journey, but there comes a point where you've got to find that sort of level, neutral ground on it, because it can become a distraction and not a positive thing, if you understand what I mean.
I do. Yeah.
And so I get that, you know, you sort of find a way of channeling that information or truth that you have, and we're all doing that in different ways, and all of them valuable. But for me personally, you know, it's about finding what's right for me on my path. Sorry, I've got a little man who's awake, and he's kicking the phone. So if I wobble a bit, it's because he's woken up. So I probably won't be able to be on the call for much longer. But I just think that, you know, we've all just got to do our thing in the way that feels right for us. You know, for me, my focus at the moment is very much about myself and my family, and you know, getting to know myself in a new way now that I have, you know, uncovered these truths, and it's kind of I'm getting to know the new sort of unveiled Andrea. So that's kind of my focus with the information that I have. I mean, you know, obviously I'm up for talking to anyone about what I've discovered, but yeah, you know, it's about us finding our way, isn't it? It's about finding our way once we have that, because it can be a lonely one too sometimes. So but loneliness is not a bad thing necessarily. It's we're just told it is.
Yes, very
but
true.
yeah. I think at this point, I'm gonna, as you can see, a little head bobbing. I'm gonna have to say good night. I've really enjoyed my my time. And I hope to chat again. But I have a little boy that needs me.
That's your baby?
That's my baby, yes.
Oh, sweet love. Look at that blonde hair. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet boy. It was nice to talk with you.
Yes, and yeah, we'll talk again. Enjoy the rest of the hangout.
Yes, we'll see you soon, Andrea.
Yeah, we'll talk again soon. Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, darling.
Bye, darling.
I think one like I think I might understand like what she was trying to say, and at least this is my my feelings is that I totally agree that I prefer just, well, I don't plan for it to happen, but no matter what, if I'm speaking with someone, something comes up that I have to mention flat Earth. And then, of course, you know, I'm excited about it, but yet sometimes I know I get apprehensive at the same time because I've already spoke with that person before, and you know they've stopped telling me that I'm crazy. Okay, they know I'm not crazy, but at first that was the thing. You know, you've lost your mind. You know, but I guess if there's something about speaking with another person, such as here with you ladies, um, or other, you know, people that are in the truth community or flat earth community, that, you know, you don't, you can say what you need to say and have these discussions that, um, they're rewarding. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy talking to other people. Don't get me wrong, but it's like if you can't I'm having a little trouble articulating it, but kind of like how you said, Roxanne, earlier, like you didn't feel like you could manage in your household if you know, if everyone wasn't on the same page. So yeah, you know,
Yeah, I've started removing everybody instead of forcing them to see or listen to what I know. I've just gone, well, fine, if you don't want to know, fine, but don't drag me into your world. So I'm still not very good. I've gotten really good at not forcing this stuff on my family, but when they try to drag me into their crap, I can't. I just go, no, I'm not having that because it's a lie. And then the flat earth and everything else seems to come into it because I just can't accept that all the stuff that they come out with. It's just
right.
it's so wrong. It's not even funny.
Well, not only that, someone said earlier, you know, it's not just about the flat Earth. It's about the sun and the moon, and you know the you know the things that people are doing, the activism, the photography, the videos, the everything. You know, it's like that's what. Oh, Zena, sorry, that's where I prefer to be. That's where I prefer to be. You know,
I like the conversation. I just want to learn more about it. I find it fascinating, and I find all the other topics completely fascinating. It's I'm curious as hell. Like, what do we live on? Where is Australia? Why doesn't Australia fit into any map, whether it's flat, round, hollow? It doesn't matter what. It's just like we just throw the whole thing out. Everything would work fine if there just wasn't the southern continents.
exactly. That came up today. My sister was here earlier today, and we were doing something outside in my yard, and it started to get warm. And you know, she said, "Yeah, we got the sun beaming on us, but of course we're in January. It's supposed to be, you know, it's normally cold." And the sun was very, very low, and very like it was at past noon a little bit or almost to noon, but it was just very low and very south to where I'm at. And she said, "Yeah, look at that sun. It's, you know, this is my main sister that, you know, like thought I was cuckoo. Okay, she doesn't anymore, but still." And I said, "Yeah." She said, "It looks odd where it's at." I said, "I know." I said, "That's another thing we've been talking about, and you know, with my flat Earth friends." And then I told her, I said, "Isn't it summer in Australia right now? And of course, trouble, isn't it your summer right now?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And right. And I told her, and I don't know, something was clicking with me. I don't know exactly what it was, but I told her, I said, "Well," I said, "from here," I said, "isn't Australia like," and of course I'm pointing down, right? "Is that where they have you guys on the flat earth map, or if there is, like, versus the globe? Are you south of North America
I've got no idea.
on the flat map?"
I don't really know where America is on the map.
Well, see, and that there again, like, I'm not. I from the get go, I don't. I'm book smart in quite a few things.
Lesia,
But yeah,
Lesia,
Geography, yes, ma'am.
We had Brett on because obviously he was noticing, because obviously he's doing a lot of his observations himself now. He's been doing it for a few months. So until you start doing and checking it yourself, it just changes things when you actually are monitoring it yourself. And he was noticing that the sun was coming up south of Tropic of Capricorn. But in his mind, with the way that, I mean, I know Australia is opposite to us, but we have to have the sun high in the sky and in the north to be hot. For Australia to be hot, they have to have the sun low in the sky. So if the sun is high in the sky, it's colder. Low in the sky. He reckons that Australia, we are south of Australia.
Well, there is a map where the world's.
Where are you?
I did hear that, like, I know NASA hasn't been to space and all that, but apparently they flipped the map anyway, right from the word go. So I don't know. And then there's other maps where they reckon the countries that are different ways around, and I've got no idea.
Very quickly, Trouble. We've got Beck from Oz in the chat room. So whereabouts are you in Australia?
I'm in Brisbane.
There you go, Beck from Oz.
I'm trying to read chat, but I'm hard to talk and read. I'm not very good at multitasking.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't. It's got everything is the other way round, so it wouldn't surprise me. But we did have a hangout, didn't we? Where it was were the next day, we were going into the next day, and then we did because that concave map came out, and then we were looking at the clocks. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon for you on the Sunday. It was about 7:30 in the day for us on Sunday, but it was still 11:30 in California the night before. So that means then if you are north, they've put you in the wrong day. You should be almost like you should be the day behind, and they put you the day ahead. But I don't know how it all works because, it's all crazy.
It goes from England time, isn't it, Greenwich, and then that's 12 o'clock. Like I think they put England right in the middle, and then there's half a day the other side for one half of the world, and then the other half the other side of the world. So from England, it'll probably all make sense, but from over here, it's kind of like time jumps around. Well, there is no time. It's just it goes around in a circle.
Just to say, Beck Moss says that she's in Brisbane.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick my Facebook.
He says coffee. You may not. She says coffee. Maybe meet up for coffee. So yeah, check the chat room out.
Yep.
You may not be alone now, Trouble.
Well, I did meet one. I've met a couple. I met one and he was just full on religious, and it was just too much for me. I've met Wobbly Boost and Tony once. Tony a few times.
Every time I try to talk, my dog goes with this big loud "Rrrf." I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
Okay. I was gonna do some geography. Okay. Let's figure this out, ladies. Let's figure out what does our flat Earth map look like? Okay. Wonder if our map would look any different. Well, how significantly different it would look, say, than someone else's. I don't know.
Well, we started off as a group that were a square flat Earth group, and we had all the churches. We had people underground, on the ground, above the ground, and then right up, like as the toroidal field around Earth or cross Earth. And then it just so happened that a lot of them were just so, I don't know, I can't explain it. Every single one of them knew the best. And then we just decided year and a bit ago, we don't know what shape we are. No one's proved it yet, so we move on with the people. So that's what we did. We went on with the people. But you can't, maybe in your mind you have what you think it is, but we just decided to go on with the people. Because we can't prove anything yet, can we? So without proving anything, what's the point of arguing over something that none of us are sure of? And we need more people like Brett. You know, we need more people to make their own observations, because until everybody makes their own observations, watching a video isn't good enough. You have to see it for yourself and monitor it. It takes months. You know, I didn't record mine, you know, I didn't record it all, but my window faces east, the room I'm sitting in, and many nights I was up, you know, when the dawn was cracking. Roxanne understands. Yeah, you're always up late. I noticed when she messages me and I message her, it's usually about 2 o'clock in the morning and we haven't gone to sleep, but the light was coming at 3:30 in the morning. I just noticed all these things, and it changes your mind when you actually know where these things are appearing and disappearing, and then, you know, going across, and moons appearing and disappearing, and it changes everything when you do it yourself.
Yeah, and photographing it. I mean, I've taken so many photos, and then when you enlarge them on the computer and you can zoom in on them, and you can see so much more detail. And the moon, even the shaded side, is lit. You can see it. And so things weren't making sense. And then when I heard about flat Earth, and then you could just see in the sky the way the clouds go. They go linearly across, and it's like, oh my God. And then you stand on the ocean, and you're like, and you get your camera out, and it's like, shit, I can see a lot. Sorry, I can see a lot further than I'm supposed to be able to see. When it was just my eye, that all sort of matched in with the, you know, the maths that we were giving, because I come from a sea town, so we're always told that you can only see so many nautical miles and so many land miles. And not that I've heard that in decades, but I do remember being told that when I was growing up. And then I'd get my camera out, and it's like, wow, I can see 30, 40 kilometers away. And I'm not meant to. And then I'm like, I'm photographing the moon, and it's 350,000 kilometers away. And it's in focus. But I can hardly, you know, I can't get things in focus that are 40 miles away on the ground. So it's just, it wasn't adding up. And I didn't really notice it until somebody pointed it out. I was completely oblivious to it all.
Yeah, well, I think we all are, in a sense. We're all running around in our lives, aren't we? We all had family, children, and there's other things taking our attention. But there seems like, you know, most of us here, we kind of woke up at the same time, didn't we?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I saw Zeitgeist. A friend showed me Zeitgeist 7 years ago.
A what?
Zeitgeist, the movie. And it covered 9/11, Zeitgeist. Zietgeist, something like that. It covered 9/11, the Bible, and money, the Reserve Bank. And I was just...
That's deep.
I didn't even know 9/11 was a problem. That was the first I ever heard about 9/11 being a problem. Then the religion stuff, I was like, oh my God, now that makes sense. And then the money was like, shit, why don't we know about this? How could I have spent my whole life not knowing about fiat reserve, fractional, usury bullshit?
Right.
And yeah, it was mostly the money, the Reserve Bank. That's what I went.
Yes, at the end of the day, yes, that's what it's all about. All of the lies, you know, and that's what it's for.
That's why if I think I could get better at conversating about it, like explaining.
You're about to trigger me.
Because my dad and I had this huge fight, like, and he ended up calling me a friggin' idiot and all that. And it was like, oh my God, all I was trying to do was explain usury in the Reserve Bank, but I just didn't have the vocabulary for it. And I came up sounding like a complete idiot. It was just, oh my God.
Do you now?
I don't even bother.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be a Jibby Jedi, and I'm going to say, well, you should practice that, ma'am. That way next time you'll be ready.
Well, they live 2,000 kilometers away, so
right.
I don't have much of an opportunity to talk to them.
Right, right. What were you going to say, Roxanne? You had something?
It's gone. Sorry.
Guys, I'm gonna. I know I've only been on there for a really short while, but I've had like 3 hours sleep in the last.
Oh my.
Oh yeah.
I'm so tired.
Oh,
So tired. I wanted to come on because it's been ages since we had before Christmas. So I wanted to come on and say hi. And I always appreciate you having me on. I'm so tired.
Sarah.
Huh?
You party pooper.
I was up until like 2 a.m. last night. I had my sister and her partner here. We was just enjoying being in the moment, guys. You know what it's like when you're just enjoying being in that moment. And
You were
I don't rarely
partying
get
last
to see
night?
it. Yeah. And it was a Wednesday and I shouldn't have been drinking, but we had a drink. I got really drunk.
Right.
It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock, went to bed, and I had to get up at 5 o'clock so I could do my editing in the morning. So I'm really tired and I've been up for 22 hours. So I am exhausted, guys.
Let's hang out, shame her. Okay.
What?
We're gonna hang out, shame
You can
you.
hang. You definitely should
No.
hang out, shame me. But next time I'm going to be more
No.
prepared.
Oh,
I had
As
to get
if.
up at 5 o'clock so I can do more editing. I'm just so tired, man.
Well, it was very nice to have
right.
you here.
Well, you've got your book going out, haven't you?
And just getting up at 5 a.m. is just tired. tired, so tired.
Why do
Can
you
I
get
ask
up?
you one more thing about your book? I wanted to. Oh,
Huh?
sorry. Go ahead.
No, carry on. No, go. Yeah, what?
Oh, you go first, Lesia. Go on.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a question earlier for Sarah. When you said that you just finished your book cover, okay?
Oh, yes.
I don't. Yes. What did you mean by that? Like you've had artwork and
I designed.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I've got.
How exciting!
It is. I kind of had a bit of a mini meltdown because this isn't just a novel like anybody just writes a novel. It's a massive part of me in the book because it is, you're basing it on it is so different. The books are so different. They're not a normal kind of, throw something together. There's deep meaning in it and stuff.
What is the name of this one?
This is called, the book In Pursuit of Light, and it's a series. A series is called Discovering Kia. So it's one in the series and there'll be more. But the designer, I gave her a photo which I own. I suppose the correct way of saying it is I own the rights of the photo. So I brought the photo from a photographer. I then gave her the photo along with my take, and she has now turned it into a beautiful cover. And I loved it. And then the next morning I woke up and I'm just, oh my God. And I just started picking at it. And then I was like, oh, no. It's just one of those step closer to publishing, and it's kind of making it more and more real. And I am going to be incredibly nervous.
I was just about to say, I'm nervous for you. And I didn't even write it. And I'm just like, wow, I'm so excited for you. But you have written others, or hold on. How many have you published others?
No, so this is going to be my first published book.
And
so I'm self-publishing, so you'll be classed as an indie author. So you don't go to, there's no way I'd go to a publisher. Definitely not go to a publisher.
Right.
You spend years trying to hunt down a publisher or trying to find an agent. Okay. So I'm self-publishing. So this is the first book which I wrote. Nice. I started writing Boxing Day of over a year ago. I'm now on book 3 and I'm over 100,000 words into book 3. I've got about 7 chapters left to write. Wow. Complicated. It's very, very layered. It's not just a one kind of, it's very, very layered and very complex, and trying to set the characters up in certain positions and things like that.
I can't wait to read it.
Everybody thinks book 1 is like, oh yeah, it's just a sloppy romance book and it's just about this, and it's not. And then you read book 1 and then you become more understanding there's the layers of these characters and how they're cross-connected to each other. Mm-hmm. And that only comes into it in book 2, and in book 3, again, the more books go on, you realize how the lines cross over, and it's all based on realm. As I say, and that's what makes it different, is because I don't set it. I don't have the same parameters as most books. I don't set it in the same time frame either. Right.
Not on purpose. You're saying not on purpose. You're saying, right?
Say that again.
You said, in other words, you're not setting this on purpose. This is just the way that the words have come out on the pages as you've been writing? Is that what you're trying to say?
Book one did. Book one, it wasn't intentionally, as in like, obviously I had this idea of the setting, which is what it is, the setting. That's what I wanted to do, because as you guys are, you have like this bursting with knowledge and you just want to sort of tell people and you want to talk about it with people. And I didn't have that. And I was literally bursting at the seams of all this. I just wanted to talk about it, and I threw it into a book. Add to that these characters that have come through it. And I just started writing with no intention of really ever. And then it's kind of taken off, really.
I started writing.
You cut out a little bit. What did you say? You took off?
It's taken off, as in I have got a team of people behind me. I've got PAs, I've got beaters and editors and people who are all have, and co-writers, people who know what's going on and are going to be there, kind of.
But you didn't set out on writing a book?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, but no way.
Crazy.
It was just a way of channeling, like we've all, but you guys have all got your own ways of doing it, and this is just it wasn't intended. It was just a way of channeling stuff.
Well, as you guys would say in the UK, brilliant. Go ahead. Brilliant, girl. Go.
Thanks, guys.
I was trying to repeat everything I was learning, and I've written a lot of poem things. I'm not a poet, but I just had to get all the information out of me.
You do, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to compact it. So like, I'd watch a 3-hour video, but there's no way I could explain that 3 hours to someone else. So I'd watch little bits, and then I'd just try to compact it into a sentence. And then it all started to rhyme. It was like I'm like Dr. Zeus or something.
Wow.
It was like going back to grade 5 again. It was just, got to write this stuff out. And it was just like, I wish I'd had all this information at school when they made us write poems, because I couldn't think of anything to write. Now I can see the connections just in the words that rhyme. It's like there's words have meaning. There's a reason they made the words, and they have a sound, and there's a reason they made them all rhyme. And all of a sudden you can see all the beautiful patterns within the words themselves, and it's like a whole new world.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Right, guys, I'm going to head off. Otherwise, if we fall asleep, then you'll hear me snoring my head off. I'll be very good to you guys.
Sarah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Sorry I'm only on so short period. I feel terrible. I'm going to come on for longer next time. I promise, Karen. I promise. I'll make sure I leave that space free, for sure.
Sarah, you didn't get this at the beginning, because you might hear at the beginning, but there's a for you.
Yes. All right, guys. Okay. Love you guys.
Night.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Rest good. Bye.
Hey.
That's
ladies. Yeah, I wish I
ladies' night.
Yeah.
Well,
shame you couldn't play music, isn't it? Get a strike.
Say what? Sorry?
I said, shame you couldn't play music, but in case we got a strike, you're not YouTube, all right?
Like, what's with all these music strikes? I thought, because you can see people have uploaded videos and they've got, the popular songs on there, and they do their own little video to the song, and that's all hunky-dory. And then I go and do some of my crystals, and I have music on the radio in the background, and I get a strike.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden I have to make sure the world is silent when I'm recording.
There is quite a big load on YouTube that you can pick copyright free. I know that you said it was on a radio. They don't like that. But you can pick copyright free music.
I know, I've got all crap. Like, I've got 300 videos, so I'm starting to repeat those 20 songs that they give us for free. And there's only
it's a bit more than that, but it is a little bit like, occasionally you might put something up, and immediately as you actually press the button, it's recognized that algorithm, and you get copyright notice. But I don't even like getting that on it, just the notice. I don't, because I think somewhere along the line, if those people change their mind and decide to copyright it, then you could then get into trouble.
Yes. Even like going in I'm mobile, and so if I'm on a hangout, I can move about, and like like you can go into a grocery store or a convenience store or wherever, and there's music playing in the background. If you stay there long enough and enough of those words are caught, it'll get that channel a strike. So you have to be careful.
And how is that copyright? Because the people playing the music paid for it. So they've already paid for the copyright to play the bloody music.
Because if it's a live hangout, you're broadcasting it live without permission. You see?
But you're allowed to, if you're a non-for-profit organisation, you're allowed to use artwork if it's not-for-profit, so long as you're not making money off it. It's out in the public domain, so...
Right.
How does that work?
How
are they allowed to take photos of me on their security cameras? I didn't give them permission to do that. All of a sudden, that's allowed now.
Sorry, my daughter just called. Sorry. I'll be right back.
So I just find today's rules frustrating and don't make sense and annoying.
Yeah, well, it's a bit strange on YouTube. I do agree. There's lots of other things happening on YouTube, and they don't seem to care about that. Roxanne, you're there. What are you lining up for this weekend, or in the near future?
Yeah, in the near future. The next thing I'll be doing will be Speaker's Corner, and that'll be on the last Sunday of this month. I'll be down there having conversations with people, questioning what they've been taught, and seeing how it's taken there at the end of January. We just not long did the one at the end of December. It was actually the day before New Year's Eve. So with the success of that went really well. A lot of people came out. A lot of people that aren't on YouTube came out as well. So yeah, the next thing I'll be doing will be the last Sunday of this month at Hyde Park, Speaker's Corner, London. And then at the last Sunday of each month after that, up till August, when it's going to get a little bit busier. So the 29th of August is when the Globe Live Tour starts for 2019. As you probably already know, if you listen to Karen's channel or my channel, or Robin's channel, or quite a few other people's channel, you may know that this is going to be a bigger tour. It's going to go through Europe.
Yeah, this is huge.
A lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I think it's over 60 cities, capitals.
And
going
so
as far,
countries.
yeah, going as far as Athens, going over to Moldova, going all the way through Italy, down through the.
That is a huge amount of countries that we don't get anywhere near on this side of the world.
So yeah, that starts on the 29th of August. The confirmed locations, confirmed cities have been released by Jason, and the potential dates. Those dates may be subject to change by maybe 24 hours here and there, but the locations have been confirmed. And in amongst that, we've got the Globe Live Convention in Kidderminster. That's between the 13th and the 15th of September in the UK. And then the Amsterdam one on the 27th to the 29th. And then obviously the Globe Live Tour will carry on from there. So
hey, at this rate, we'll need a channel to put this all on.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched one of your last stories. Great.
Sorry, it cut out. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, darling.
I watched most of your last tour, and it was pretty good. It was great.
I think it was really surprising to see how many people are questioning what they've been taught, regardless of what that is. I think it's healthy to see that there isn't people out there just taking everything as a given. And I think the more we can push this conversation out there in real life human interactions, the faster the subject will be socially accepted to have. Then we can have civilized discussions and move it forward, but not while we're getting ridiculed. It needs to be socially accepted. So fingers crossed.
There's a lot of topics that need to be socially accepted. I can't talk to my family about self-healing. I'm like healing from massive brain injuries, and yet my family are still locked up in the doctor world. Like last week, my dad had cancer, and so they took out part of his tongue, all his bottom teeth, 2 of his top teeth, and part of his jaw. And I'm just, he survived, Karen. I meant to tell you, everything's cool. He's a tough old bugger.
Sounds horrible.
It does. I just can't even imagine it. I think the lump was under his tongue, so I think half the tongue, or the bit of the tongue that they took was underneath, whereas I'd been picturing across the top, half his tongue missing, and I had all these visions, because nobody wanted to talk about it and tell me really what was going on, because it was such an operation. But apparently he's sitting up, he's talking, his face is swollen. Well, no, he's not talking, but he's awake. Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, I wish your dad well. That sounds horrible.
Well, yeah. So there's lots of topics that we need to be able to talk about, and you know, I can't tell my parents about fluoride or vaccinations. I tried to mention 9/11 to my stepmom, and she just went out of the room screaming, even though she's ranting to me about fluoride. So I thought I'd bring in vaccinations, and the next minute I've got, Wayne, did you hear that? Your daughter doesn't think I should be letting you have the flu shot. I was like, oh my God.
I tried to tell my mum. She said, I know we're on a spinning ball. I know. I thought, all right, then I'm just not trying any further than that. Then they're not interested, my parents, not at all.
Yeah. My mum said, I've looked at the evidence and I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with what I know.
But my children did buy me, as I put in a little video, because they were sort of, because it's not the, I don't know, in their world maybe it's not the trendiest thing to say, but they bought me a t-shirt, a mug, and a poster of Flat Earth, so they're obviously coming round a little bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were smiling at me. They probably still think I'm crazy, but they actually gave me that. Yeah, so I had Flat Earth goodies for Christmas from my kids.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is good.
She's 20 and she's like, Mum, everybody knows that the moon landing was fake. As for Flat Earth, now that's not so big, but the moon landing, yeah, everybody knows that's fake. Their generation is the one that went over the footage, and so they know.
Yeah, my daughter's the same. She says her friends all know the moon landings were faked. Flat Earth, yeah, we need some work to do on that yet, but
yeah,
they all seem to pretty much know the moon landings were faked.
Yeah, so it's just our generation upwards that we need to wait. Like the youngies, they can't get away from it because everybody knows about it. But the older generation, they're terrible and they still want vaccinations. My mum has the flu shot every year.
I know. I feel so like, because they all think, well, but getting the flu injection means that we won't get flu and we've got to have it, and oh, goodness knows what's in that stuff that they're injecting. And then, you know, actually what it does is it actually gives those people a slight, well, they're immune to the flu, but we get the flu after all these people are having the jab.
Yeah, and I'm 50, so like, when are they they still treat me like a kid and they're the grown-ups. And it's like, no, it's the other way around now, Mum. I need to protect you because you've gotten lost. And
that's funny. Yeah, they think they need to do that. It's like, no, you don't need to, you know, like, I'm the mama. I always say that. I'm the mama. Okay.
Yeah, they've taken total advantage of them. Because my folks are at the 77, you know, they're nearly 80. So they're at the fragile end of life. They've lost a lot of confidence. There's just too much information out there for them that they don't have access to and don't understand when they do get access to it.
Well, trouble, it doesn't help that you've had a brain, you know, like with that brain problem, you know, your brain injury, or I can only imagine, like, you know, what you probably would have gotten from your, you know, close friends and family. Like, no, you're just not thinking right. You know, the earth is not flat, you know?
Oh, yeah, totally. And because I've gone off all my medications, I don't have anything to do with pharmaceuticals. I've got nothing nice to say about doctors. Yeah, my mum just wants to take me. She took me for a medical last time I was home because she wanted to see that I was okay off all the medicines.
Right.
She just, trust me, she doesn't believe it, you know. It's like, oh my God, I'm 50, you guys. Will you stop it? Like I got lectures coming out my ears last time I was home. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they tried to make me watch TV. And so the news came on, and of course, nothing nice came out my mouth.
thing is, we're all weaned off TV, aren't we? But in the day, television was on all day.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can't talk while it's on. Yeah, then they go and talk during it, and then
yes, I've realised. You noticed anybody that watches telly all the time, they don't want you to talk. No, I'm watching that program. No, now the news is coming on. Oh no, I want to listen to this. And you think,
shush. Yeah.
And my sister will have it on quietly in the background, and I'm like, but you don't understand. Your subconscious is absorbing all this information.
Yep.
And it's all lies. It's all the whole lot. There's not one thing that's true on that idiot box.
Come on, baby.
And I get offended by it. No, it's like, no, that's a lie. Even the adverts, I can't stand the adverts because they're full of more lies than the TV shows. And the TV shows, Mum's like, but I thought you'd want to watch this. And she called me in. It was David Attenborough or somebody. I'm like, nah, not having a bar of that. I just got up and left it. She's like, why? What's wrong? It was just nature. It's like, you just don't understand that it's fraud.
Right.
Not just wrong, it's fraud. It's lies. It's
it makes
it lies. It's fraud. They should be in jail.
Right.
They're lying for money.
Yeah, trying to make you think you need something or you want something, that you never even you don't need that. I mean, maybe you do. I mean, I'm not against, consumer, there is goods and services that we need and want, but still, you should figure out what you want, on your own. Don't just let a television program and in between commercials tell you this is what you want. Everybody's got it,
and the medicine world, once you get in there, they don't let you go. They want me on blood pressure and blood thinners for the rest of my life. 50 years of taking pills. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
With no cure, no end. That makes no sense to me. How is that going to be good for my body?
Right.
Well, I work for quite a lot of elderly people, and sometimes I just look at the medication. I can't believe all those pills work together, to be honest. They must have side effects that are probably, worse off than what they had originally.
But yeah, like my mum's a junkie basically, and I said that to her, and she was quite offended. I said, but you go to a chemist, you'll hold out your arm, you'll let them inject whatever they want. I'm trying to tell you what's in it, and you don't want to know about it. Isn't that what you would call a junkie? You guys have got to back the front. You think the people on the street, the heroin addicts, are junkies? No, you prescription people are junkies. You've got a prescription for everything. Like even my husband the other day, ex-husband, he's got these massive back pain tablets, and my daughter had a wisdom tooth pulled out, and so they share them. He's like, yeah, take one of these. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't just, oh my God, you guys are unreal.
You shouldn't take medication that's given to someone else on a prescription. You shouldn't.
You just else either.
Especially in your arm, like what you were just saying, like here, I don't I don't want anyone to stick me with a needle. I'm not afraid of them, but no, just if you don't have to, please don't, yeah. Dental
I'm cranky about everything. I'm cranky with the Red Cross. The Red Cross, I didn't realise, but they sell our blood back to the hospitals, and they made record profit last year. I'm like, what? No, we donate that blood, and you then donate. You give it to them at cost price. No, they don't. They make a profit. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Wow.
I'm just disgusted.
They should break even, not make a profit. They should break even, for for whatever it does cost to, if they're the ones that process the blood and purify it or whatever, they need to do, keep it safe.
Doesn't that tell you then if they're making a profit out of it? We donate it and they make a profit out of it.
And that's a non-for-profit charity. Oh no, but the profit we make, we reinvest back into other things. Well, no. What?
However, though, I would not let that stop me from donating blood.
No.
Right, for sure.
No.
But usually, I'm not good with it.
Car accident, there's nowhere else I would rather be than a hospital. Absolutely.
Yes.
But this volunteering to go and have a hip replacement, a knee thing, and when I bury my parents, they're not even going to be human. They're getting so many different bits of them replaced. And then the replacement's not even that good. It only lasts 10 years. So what? She's 77, had a hip replacement. So at 87, she's going to have another one. And then 97, she's going to have another one because it didn't last 10 years.
Wow.
I
Listen up, you little young whippersnappers out there. You better take care of your bodies. Go ahead.
Well, yeah.
And you know what now, though? You know, basically, we're so hypochondriac that we get a cold and we're at the doctor's. Nobody can handle having a cold. They've got to go and get antibiotics or a prescription. And they're actually blocking up all the spaces for people who aren't really very well and have to wait days for an appointment now.
That's what they want because that gives them customers.
It's
Same
like
as
customary.
housing.
It's
You know?
well, it's gonna say it's customary to just, you know, when someone's sick, you just say like, oh, you better go get on one of those Z packs. You know, that's what people say. Oh, you better go get one of those Z packs.
And advertising, it's so into advertising. They've replaced words like you have paracetamol. We call it Panadol. The Panadol's an actual brand, but they've replaced the paracetamol with their brand. And same as Band-Aid. Band-Aid is a plaster strip that goes across your knee. But Band-Aid is an actual brand of plaster strips, but all Aussies will call a plaster strip a Band-Aid. They've replaced the actual word with their product. Very clever marketing. There's marketing all over this. That's all this planet is marketing.
All about money, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons. Like, yeah, making a profit.
So I know that you've obviously had a stroke and that, but when was the last time that you actually went to the doctors to get medication?
5 years ago.
What about you, Roxanne?
Medication, in general, I'm not vaccinated. I don't really participate in the whole pharmaceutical malarkey. So this is a non-pharmaceutical household in general.
Yeah, I'm the same. Just to say, I forgot to mention because you were talking about the Globe Light tour, you met our Patricia, didn't you?
I did. When I went up there, I went to Doncaster first, and I met Patricia there and spent the afternoon out on the streets of Doncaster questioning people and what their perception of this is. And it was a really cool day. It was lovely.
Yeah, is she there? Is Patricia there? Patricia?
I'm here.
Yeah, you met Roxanne, didn't you, and John Smith?
And Jason.
Yeah.
And somebody else, I can't remember his name now.
George. Wasn't it George?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, George.
Yeah.
It was really weird because I'd seen everybody, but to actually physically meet them, I mean, I'm not a starstruck sort of person, and I didn't see him as that, but it was like, well, this is so weird. Nice, but weird.
Yeah, it was. It's like a nice weird. It's like, even when I came to meet you, Karen, it is nice when you have that human interaction and you actually meet each other in real life, not just have an online presence. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that we're real people.
Yeah. At the heart of it, yeah. I know it sounds a bit...
Roxanne came to my house. What was it, about July last year? July?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It just went too quick, didn't it?
It did. It felt like we blinked and it was like, oh, it's time to go home now.
Oh, by the way, just for Patricia, Super League says hello, Patricia, in the chat room.
Yeah, I've already said hello to him. I don't think he saw my message, but hi, Super Leads. I put our kid. It's a Yorkshire saying.
Just asking, Lesia, are you a medication person or not a medication person?
I have medication that I do take. I have a low thyroid and a couple other things, but like sleeping at night. It's one of those things where I guess if I am going to be on medication, I did a lot of trial and error to find out, what are the side effects and what might this harm or could this harm? you know, because I mean, it just was kind of like too much was happening at one time, you know, over the course of the past 5 years. But, and it's like, you just, I don't know. I call it, how did I say that? For me, it's the perfect little cocktail that keeps me like how I feel normalized and balanced. Because, how would I say that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You don't have access to the natural versions.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, there are a lot of, obviously there's natural ways, homeopathic thing. But it's like, you have to do this thing, then you have to do this thing, then you have to do this thing. You see, I don't know. It's just, it would definitely be I would say it is definitely a goal of mine to eventually wean off. And of course, I mean, I've tried cannabis, but cannabis is just like, makes me kind of goofy. Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow.
A few years ago, I had, they diagnosed that actually I had my gallbladder was full of stones. I had stones in my body. I had a stone stuck in me. It nearly killed me. I was so messed around, but I wasn't into hospital and medication before. And I had so many months of all these things, but I haven't been touching lots of wood now. That was really 3 years or 4 years ago. I haven't been to the doctor once since then. I don't like them.
To be honest, the chemist not much into pharmaceuticals anymore, but the chemist knows more than the doctor.
Sorry, Trouble, we can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
That's a bit better.
Since I'm not into chemists, but they know more about medicine than doctors. So I used to just, when I did use that stuff, go straight to the chemist and say, look, is there anything over the counter that I can get? Now I have a few health friends, so I can sort of ask them questions. And I don't have, even though I know I've had stroke, so it is serious, but to a degree I don't have serious ailments. I mean, so long as I can control the migraines, which I can with the bicarb soda, and that works better for me than the actual medicine, the doctor medicines. So I was able to dump all my, because they didn't make any sense why I was taking them. Because I don't have high blood pressure, but they had me on blood pressure tablets. And then they had me on blood thinners. But when I asked about them, they couldn't give me a reason apart from, well, that's just what we give people in your condition. And we've got you on the lowest amount, so... And it was affecting my body. I could feel it, I could see it. And it took a couple of years. I mean, this is gross, but it changed, because they were bright red tablets, it changed the colour of my urine and the smell of it. It all went bright red and yellow, and it took a year or two of being off the medicines for that to go away.
Really?
And I got really confused because they had me on 3 different tablets, but the scripts don't come with the same amount of tablets. So one would run out 20 days later, one would run out 50 days later, and I was constantly going back and forth having to get scripts filled, and I couldn't remember which was which. And then someone takes you to a different chemist and their genetic brand is a different colour, so the pills started to change colour, and I couldn't read at this stage, so I had no idea what was going on. I just couldn't work it out. And I'm so glad not to be on them, that I don't have this timetable, and I was scared shitless that if I missed one, I was going to have more strokes. So I lived in this fear world, and it was horrible. And because they scare you, you go to the ABIOS meeting, which is the Acquired Brain Injury Society. And they'd say, well, you're twice as likely to have another stroke now that you've had one. But then I get out into the medicine, into the alternative information world, and I find out that the drug that they give us actually is 10 times more likely to have strokes if you're on warfarin. So there's all this contradicting information, and it's really hard because the experts are the ones with the wrong information. Anyway, that's my rant. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you've been through rather a lot as well, haven't you? So all credit for not taking the medication.
Well, I did in the beginning, but thankfully, like I said, someone found me in a Facebook chat somewhere, just talking, and they said to me, "Look, you can take this, you can do that," and I looked into it all, and then I had a go at it. And it was, yeah, I'm really grateful that they gave me the information. Because I meet a lot of people who have migraines, but nobody knows to try bicarb or
Yeah, I remember. Who did we give that to? Is that Mr. Thrive and Survive?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been getting migraines lately again, which has got me a bit worried. So I mustn't be very healthy. That you can get better.
Oh.
But the bicarb has been stopping them.
Well, that's good. Maybe you've been a bit worried about your dad. Sorry, Roxanne, what were you going to say?
No, darling.
No,
I'm all right.
it was me.
Oh, it's Patricia. Sorry.
Yeah,
Patricia.
I want to speak. Well, when we go to the doctors and we've got a problem, we have to have faith that their tablets are going to work, right? But now we're on the thinking of the way of we've got to have faith that the alternative medicine will work too. So it does take a while to get it into your head that, you know, we're not faith, but we have to trust the alternative because we're so frightened of it. Even the pharmaceutical stuff, we're so frightened of it to start with, you know, and that's a big thing to get over.
Well, once you learn that pharmaceutical drug is made of all these natural things, then you can just go straight away to the natural thing. But you still have to be careful about how much to take. So there still is a lot of learning to do. But that in its sense is okay because, you know, learning is good. Good for your brain, good for your body to learn new things. So
somebody that I know, y'all probably know too, Uber Josh Walker. Yep. Ever since I became a flat earther, part of this community, just a little bit over a year ago. Okay, he was having some health problems. Well, he had health problems, like that developed toward his senior year of high school, and he's still fairly young, like maybe under 30 or right at 30, and but he was like maybe 29 at the time, and over the course of the past year, his I think it was diabetes, kind of like how it started out, but like maybe it was causing some other things to go wrong and whatnot. And I have watched him research and find all like holistic and natural healing, and I guess and medicinal things for what his problems are, and like it's very I can tell that he had to put a lot of time into it, but and I think it would definitely be worth it, you know.
Do you know what we need to be, by the way? The supermarkets need to be basically selling bags of cannabis leaves, and we have it in salads, and we can eat it fresh.
Yeah. Or smoke it like I just did. Sorry.
Yeah. But it should be like part of like a salad. Eating it fresh and natural every day would really help everybody.
Yeah. And yet they put people in jail for smoking it. Come on. Don't get me started.
6 to 1, half a dozen to the other.
It's not legal here.
I smoke. No, it's not legal here. But at the same time, I wouldn't want, should I be in a car accident, I wouldn't want my surgeon that's sewing me up to be stoned off his face.
Well, exactly. No, there's a place and a time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're mad, because they can't do it, because they have to, keep, propagate the idea that it's not good for you and you shouldn't do it because of this, that, the other,
To tell you the truth, since I had my strokes and I became single, I ended up on some of those dating sites. I've met a few people who have tried to give me speed or ice, and most of them work in the medical community. And you're kind of like, oh my God, but you're a social worker. Yeah. So
Wow.
learning that that the people that don't smoke pot, they seem to take other drugs.
I see what you're saying. Right. I see what you're saying. And now, obviously, that's illegal, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't stay in this system as long, so they can get away with it. So,
I see. Mm-hmm.
but
Sorry
yeah,
about
I
the dog.
see most of the professional world is probably on ice and cocaine and speed and all the real expensive drugs. That would be my guess. Not all of them, because people don't drink, don't smoke. Don't know many of those.
Everything's the wrong way round, though, isn't it? Really.
Some things we'll just never know. Like, yeah, we'll never know. I have to get some gloves.
I think this is great. I love flat Earth. I love all the conspiracy stuff. And it's not that I want to make everybody's world miserable. It's like, wow, this other world exists. Don't you realize? Like you think that me saying that there's no nukes is the end of the world. That means all this stuff's a lie. But what you don't realize is you've now been freed from the fear of having nuclear bomb dropped on you, or whatever the conspiracy is. Like the money.
Yeah. Is there verifiable proof and repeatable, okay, that this, that, or the other did happen? And it did happen in this way for this reason, blah, 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 blah. Like if there's not verifiable and repeatable proof on any topic, then who's to say what?
Well, sticking to a spinning ball, that's verifiable and repeatable, not.
Right.
I think Roxanne is going to be a party pooper as well in a moment, aren't you, Roxanne?
I'm sorry, I am. I've got a really early start in the morning, so I'm going to have to go and force myself to go to sleep, because this is quite early for me to go to sleep. So wish me luck with that, because I've not been having good luck with going to sleep before midnight. But yeah, I've got a really early start tomorrow, so I'm going to have to go. But Karen, tonight has been awesome. I've really enjoyed speaking to all the ladies tonight and hearing
thank you
from.
It's been nice.
Really, yeah.
What time is it there, if you don't mind me asking?
Just coming up to 11:30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, going to bed at 11 is early, if you're a flat earther, for sure.
I know. I have that balance with the family, though, so where I've got to get up early in the morning with the kids, and then I'm out all day tomorrow, so I've got to kind of pace myself so I don't burn out. But
good for you. You're being responsible.
Yeah, definitely. And to all the ladies that have been on tonight, and to all you ladies that are still here, and Karen in the chat room, and everybody, thank you so much, Karen. It's great. Thank you.
Roxanne, for you.
All right, my darlings, have a lovely evening, chat room.
Love
Enjoy
you.
the rest of the Karen's hangout, and I shall see you all next time.
Try a hot shower. Try a hot shower to go to bed with. Might help you relax.
No worries. All right, darling. Take care.
Take some cannabis, ma'am.
You'll have to.
Take some cannabis. That might help.
We have been going for 2.5 hours. Do you want to talk for a little bit longer, ladies, or do you think we should just wind down now?
I've only just
what happened to...
I know you have.
I'm just about to say, Trouble wants to have a party, I can tell. Trouble, are you going to do day drinking if you are a drinker by any chance?
I don't know.
I don't really drink.
Might be a little bit early.
Right. So, I never did get my flat Earth map out to see where is Australia. I'll be right back.
In a sense, you two could be like the complete opposites of each other, or actually quite close to each other. Well, closer than you think.
Right. Oh, sorry.
If Brett's right when he says that basically we're south of Australia, not Australia is south of us.
Oh, look.
Crazy, isn't it?
I had no idea what the world looked like before Flat Earth. I'm not very good with geography.
Me neither. That's what I was going to try to tell Karen earlier. Of all the subjects in school, I would say that I guess maybe I wasn't so interested in it because there were so many themes, and you had to memorize it for the most part, because I don't know. I had a lot of, I didn't have a direct line of studies. I kind of studied a little bit of everything. Yeah. I'm serious though. I'm gonna check out this map. Okay, hold on. I just want to see. You don't have to hold on, but just want to see, like, according to my, you know, where I'm at, where she's at. Right?
It's a bit hard. Like I said, we had this hangout where Trouble was Sunday and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and America was still 11:30 at night the day before.
Right.
So we kind of, like, the concave map had just come out. So I kind of thought, well, debunk that one then, because obviously Trouble's the next day and America's the day before still on the same hangout.
Trouble.
Yeah, one time we could all see the moon at the same time, was it? Or the sun? I don't know, something.
Like, where's your sun at right now, Trouble?
It's just rising, so it's just above the horizon. I'd have to go and have a look how high up it is.
Let's see.
But it's slightly north of east. It's swung around on this angle. So it rises still over
slightly north of east.
But it sets southwest.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when Brett was talking about that the arc in the sky, like, for me, I see the sun, like, come up, well, it appears there when this house is in the way, isn't there? But it appears and it goes across. He just said it's an arc, just an arc in the sky. It's a very sort of narrow arc for him, up and down like half a rainbow.
What I see is, I see it doing a circle, actually. I see it rising and it comes slightly on an angle. Then it goes around and across the top. And then when it goes down, it doesn't go straight down. It goes down on an angle again. So it's almost like finishing the bottom half of the circle.
Karen, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Look. Okay, see that? Okay, it's 5:29 p.m. right here. And I'm right on the Gulf Coast, all right? And earlier today, okay, I'm going straight level, okay? Earlier today at, like, just before noon, okay, the sun was, say, like, you see that group of trees right there, like that circle of trees right in the middle of my screen, okay? Yeah. Well, the sun was very low, like, you know, to the south of me, and I'd say, like, maybe level with that, I swear, level with that middle branch right there, okay? And seeing now it's over here, all right? You can see it where you're at, right? We should do an experiment.
Yeah, you'll see it's traveled across the sky, but when Brett was doing it, but he's beneath the Tropic of Capricorn. I think Trouble's above it. His arc in the sky of, like, where it started and where it finished, it wasn't very far in the sky. I was quite like, really? Because he does it on one of his videos. He shows you. So he's on the beach. It doesn't leave the beach. It goes up there and goes down there. So it's in the sea and on the beach, basically, when the sun goes down. It doesn't go. I'm just quite amazed because ours seems to travel more in the north than.
Karen, you see my she shed?
Hey.
Since we're winding things up, okay. This is what me and my sister did today. We put, like, plastic visqueen, okay, on the two sides, okay. That way I keep my heater in there, okay. I'm kind of like Dale in the shed, okay, because that's where I sit at for the hangouts inside there. Isn't that kind of cool? We did that with shower curtains, girl. Shower curtains.
Wow.
Yes. Shower curtains.
You should see the inside of my shed, in my garage. It had no lining on it, so I got rolls of material. I've just hung material all over the walls. So my garage inside looks like a patchwork blanket.
Oh.
And I just nailed them. Used tacks and tacked them to the wall, and it looks really nice in there now, but it looks a little odd.
Yeah.
Girl
nice.
Maintenance.
So what made you put that on your shed then?
Because it was cold. Well, not just the cold, the north wind. Let's see, I can show you. Okay, that's the north for me. Okay, well, we just came in through here, right? Okay, so that's the north, and if the cold wind that would be coming through, plus any like wet rain, and I hang out in here because the dogs they want to go outside and play, and that got the yard. Y'all, we haven't even had a full freeze yet, okay? But like that side is their play area. And so I want it to be able to stay, at least wet. I mean, at least dry, from the wet. So I'll take that off for a second. Oh, I need to turn my lights on for you too. I didn't do that yet. And I wanted to be able to see. I didn't want it to, because this is still the outside to me. I love being outside. If I want it to be completely, what do you call it? Well, how would I say that? Immersed. All right. Then I could come inside here. This is the actual shed part. Okay. You see? And I normally keep my little heater in here. All right. But I'd have to close the door. So I want it to be able to still feel like I'm in the outside, but yet not be freezing my booty off, Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. But I still want it to be able to see. Like I said, I want it to feel outdoors still.
Hey, Richard Berg in the chat room says, I know that shed.
Yes, he does. Yes, he sure does. We've had a barbecue and, oh, my battery said low. We have had some more, a barbecue here and yeah. There was something else. Oh, this I was going to say. Okay. So we need like 2 more. We're going to get 2 more so that we can wrap it around this, like the sides right here. All right. Because we got 1, 2, and then 1, 2. But I need something in the front. So that way I can completely enclose it, girl. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get like some Velcro that you can stick, like put something here. And then you'd put another one on the other side like this. And that way it can like stay closed if I want it. But yet I don't want it to be like too forceful, because if there's like because the dogs, if they're not playing, then they're at my feet in here. Okay. See, like right now, they're like, can we just go inside and take a nap, please? But anyhow, I don't want them to bust through it and rip it, So I'm gonna get 2 more. Yeah, and finish it up. I've only been here. I haven't even been here a year yet, and this shed has just. When I first got to this house, I don't know. It's right in the middle, and I'm just like, it's so quaint. I'm gonna turn it into a she shed.
Hey.
Yeah. And over the summer, I think I'm going to probably try to fashion some sort of it'd be some sort of screenish material, okay, but nothing like rigid, because then the dogs, when I have a lot of dogs here, they would definitely be, they would definitely like tear it up, So, hey, look, can you see the moon? I can't zoom in, but it's way up there. It's
under the trees. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Let me see. I thought I caught it at first. Let me see. Huh. What happened to it? Can you see it?
It's sort of glitching.
Let me see.
What are we looking for?
The moon appearing in the middle of the trees, sort of not at the top of the screen. It was down a bit. It just sort of was going.
There it is. Oh. It was right there. Try it one more time. See it? Oh.
Yeah.
You know what it is? There's some clouds. Oh, wow. Okay. So the moon is right there in between those tree branches in the middle. Okay. And the sun is right here. That's the kind of stuff I want to figure out,
Well, see, when I first woke up from my strokes, I looked out at the sky and there's a full moon on one side and the sun is on the other, and the Earth's in between. And I'm thinking, how does the sun shine on the moon when the Earth's in between it?
Right.
Everything's back to front. It took me a year or two to be able to swap it around in my head to what they say is going on. It makes no sense.
I'm in my she shed. I went on camera. Okay. Hi. There's the doggies. See, normally I'm like facing this away like that, you know, but now I'm in the outside. You see, there's the outside. I love it.
Excellent.
Parties at your house in the summer then?
Yeah. Well, or in the winter. Better yet, in the winter for sure.
And the winter.
Huh?
And the winter.
Yes. This is my winter. I'm going to call this. Oh, okay. I have it. Okay. This is it. All right. Okay. This part, let me turn it around. Okay. This is the summer house. This part is the summer house, right? And then there and here is like when it's severely cold. Can't see it, but that's the winter part of the house. Okay. Of the she shed.
She shed.
Well, yeah. I've got to undo that. Oh, I didn't turn my other lights on. Hold on. Let me get this done. That's the best part right now. Hold on.
I can barely look after my house, let alone another thing.
Right. Well, I dog sit, so the outside is very important to me. Okay. I can't I have to keep my yard up and try to, make sure it's dry and make sure that it's not, because they'll tear it up. Let's see. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Show and tell. Wait. Okay. See? I got these I got those at Christmas, but they're pink and they're no, I'm sorry. The color is purple and hold on. I'm stuck. Ugh. Okay. Something stuck. Okay. All right. I'm awful on camera. So anyhow, they're supposed to be purple and green because for Mardi Gras here, that's the colors, purple, green, and gold. So what was my point?
Oh, that's really pretty.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
Is it cold out there?
Yeah. Well, not at the moment. So see, it put some paint on that.
Yeah.
You see, finish the front. It's gonna be awesome. Okay. The temperature right now is. Let's see. Where did I put that at?
What's through the door? Is there a door at the back of that wall?
Excuse me?
Is there a door at the back of that wall? Is that a door?
Yeah, this is a door. Okay. Yeah, and it's got that's not like a lot of dirt. That's it's this old, I don't know if you can see this. I like this look. I don't want to it's totally.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Even this old hardware right there. You see, it's not been used. Okay. They're using this. There's all kind of stuff I can paint. That'll make it colorful. Let's see, what was I coming in here for? Oh, the temperature. Okay. Okay, let's see.
Oh, is that then into the house, is it?
Excuse me?
Have you gone into the house or is that into a shed?
Oh no, this is a shed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the house is over here, this away.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. This is the temperature in the shed. 50 degrees. And that's in the shed with the heater. So it's probably what 40? Oh, yeah, that's right.
What's that in real temperature?
I know. You have to add. You would add around 70, I think. Close to 70 to be roundabout.
How can you guys be advanced? Because you're supposed to be the most advanced nation in the world, yet you're still using empirical measurement.
I don't know. You know what? I don't profess to be advanced at all. Okay. Me personally, no. Hi, Karen.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What was the question?
Oh, just the different measurement things. I was really surprised to find out that America still is in feet and inches, and I thought they'd be metric. Why did Australia go metric if nobody else did? It's weird.
Bunch of weirdos.
I know.
See, okay, now I've got 11% on my battery. So I'm not saying I need to go at this moment, but if I what am I trying to say? Anyhow. Karen, it's up to you. I meant to ask you that earlier because you said something about working and whatever. Me personally, like I'm good.
We've been going for getting on 3 hours now. We can finish the hangout and we can say goodbye to each other off air.
Before we go, guess what I've been doing? I've been looking into those mud floods. So I've gone around Brisbane and I'm making a video at the moment where I've photographed all these old buildings in the city. And yeah, I'm loving this mud flood topic.
Sorry, I'm being messaged.
I was going to say, now I need to plug my phone in. Yeah. Okay, 1 second.
That's good. Well, tomorrow we've got Richard Lopez and Martin Leakey, and they're going to be talking about what trouble? Mud floods.
Flood. Yeah, well, yeah, I've been following Martin quite a bit, and there's a few other people, UAP, and yeah, and it's a fascinating topic. I think they're right. I don't think churches were ever churches. So I'm now and I was wondering about that. If, the ancients were advanced, what the hell were they doing worshipping? They wouldn't be worshipping. So I think the whole church religion thing is very new. I don't think it's something the ancients would have done. I don't know. I don't see why they would have had a need for it in the way that we. And so now finding out churches were never churches. They're actual energy buildings or some machine of some sort. And so are so many of the buildings around cities. They are actually machines. They don't house people. They never house people until we alter them. So it's fun trying to work out what the heck was going on.
I have to agree with this trouble.
Where there are lots of.
I just picked up these pictures and I was showing them to Martin Leakey. And then I was just looking at Notre Dame, and somebody had a model of it. It doesn't look like a church. It looks like a machine.
Yeah, and in Australia, it's even more obvious because you've just got these old buildings stuck in the middle of skyscrapers, and they're so out of place. And they've all got those resonant frequency circles in the front of the building, and that's where it ties me back to stars, because it's the same patterns that stars make when you're, taking so-called focus shots of stars. Stars move; they never stay still. They're constantly vibrating, and that's what half of these patterns, these like cymatic patterns, I think they call them. Someone's got a helicopter or a plane.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That was good. But yeah, I think there's something in what they're saying. I don't know what. And I did a video on the Paris catacombs, and I thought it was 6 million. Saying it's something like 16 million. I mean, that's a lot of skeletons to even count. So, did they do a head count before they killed everybody? I mean, all right, where's all the meat gone off these bodies? Yeah, there's so much information. It's a really fascinating topic. I'm loving it. It's something new to look at.
It is a bit strange, isn't it, when, there's pictures and they dig the pavement up and see the house with windows going below the pavement. Okay, we call them basements. And then you watch, basically, that mud can move buildings. Some of them stay, they don't crumble. They just move across the land and stop further up. Just, what is all this? What are we living in? Oh.
And then the Mandela comes into it a little bit, because I have to admit, when I was told about earthquakes, should there ever be an earthquake, I should go outside. because you don't want to be in the building when it falls down. But now with these liquefaction stuff, no, you don't want to go outside. You want to go to the top of the tallest building in case everything turns to mud and sinks. So I don't remember that being something we were told. You know, if there's an earthquake, get outside. I'm pretty sure, you know, I'm not, no, get inside. I'm pretty sure I was brought up with, if there's an earthquake, get outside. But this mud flood, that changes everything, doesn't it? So
yeah, it might be a bit more natural than we think it is, though. I mean, it could have manipulated it, or it could have been more natural.
I think it's more technology than we know, because otherwise we just get normal earthquakes, and hardly ever does the land turn to. I think.
Well, I've got a feeling that if this big mud flood happened in the 1860s, roughly about then, I mean, isn't that the time when we started going off to America?
No, I would put it at the 100, at the 00s. And I don't know. I can't tell if there's been one big flood or if they just do country by country as they get to it and then go around again. Yeah, so I don't know if the ones in the turn of the century, if they were the big one or if that was just, I don't know.
Well, we don't know because none of it's documented, is it? And whenever there is lots of things get destroyed, don't they? Or changed.
How do you
because
get mud?
Do you know something that's been changed? Bling Bling was showing me. You know, Picard that went up. You know, he said that he saw basically it was flat and then it turned up at the edge. It now says he saw curvature. Bling Bling sent me the thing off the internet. It says he saw curvature.
Yes, I'm a bit iffy on Mandela. I think a lot of it can be man manipulated, and then some of it isn't quite. So I'm not quite sure what's going. And same with all this mud flood. Like when you've got a mountain, if every mountain underneath is a building, or a lot of them, who came along and just dumped a handful of mud on everything? I'm not really sure. So there's a lot of technology still that I don't think we understand. We've never seen it working. So we don't know what they can do. Like 9/11 when they turned everything to dust. So maybe they have machines, weapons, whatever, that can literally lift mud up and plonk it on somebody like you're a giant just hurling a pile. I don't know. I really don't know yet. So I'm having fun finding out.
There's always more to find out, isn't there? Lesia, are you there? I know she's
Yes, I'm here. I got caught up in chat.
That's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I sometimes thought, well, maybe we're not even that old. Maybe we're only a couple of 100 years old. It makes you think all the time because everything's such a lie. We don't even, we can't sort of pinpoint our history anymore. And where they're taking us to space rather than digging down, it's just not going to happen, is it, on a big scale? Because we need to be learning below us.
Maybe in the beginning everything was perfect and it just went downhill from there.
Yes.
Well, it has, hasn't it?
Well, because for perfect to change, I mean, it's not going to change into anything else that's perfect because it already is perfect. So a change would be a downgrade, I guess. So I don't know. Where everything's crystal and just pure information, pure energy, and how you turn that into this living matter world, I have no idea. Maybe the two coexisted together while the giant crystal trees became human. Maybe we're trees. I seem to find we have more in connection with trees than anything else. Maybe
I love trees.
I bet you and Jimbo get along real good. He likes all of that stuff.
Yeah, I've been watching his stuff. I like a lot of it, but I'm not very religious, so I get a bit lost.
Right.
Into that.
Yep.
Flat Fred told me a lot about, when he came on the channel months ago about the trees. Obviously, they're electric. And, I forget what you call it now. I think the name's gone out because I'm a bit tired, but is it the Lindenberg figures? Yeah, when they've scorched the wood look at that, and then look at the trees with that any leaves on. It's the trees are the same thing. And then we need the trees, and the trees vibrate and do things. We need the trees, and all they seem to want to do is cut down the trees.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember being on a couple of his hangouts with you. I mean, your hangouts with him. And it's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, and the fact that...
But I don't believe that I'm a tree, though. I believe I'm not a tree.
No, I don't either. But there's something about trees. I think maybe like water holds information. I think trees hold. I don't know.
Well, they definitely serve a very important
yeah,
part in our ecosystem.
Saying that ivy can be good. It can feed animals, blah blah blah. But basically, they just seem to be letting it run riot. And what does it do? It kills the trees.
Right.
And ivy, you can't stop it really, because it's just crazy. Ivy.
What is ivy?
But I don't know if I did. I love ivy, but I don't anymore.
Divine.
What is ivy?
Oh, IV, yes. Medicine.
Oh, okay. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, ladies.
Yes. I'm getting tired myself, and I know it, well, mainly because I've just been nonstop. Remember I talked to you very early, Karen? I said, and I did. I'd already had a shower and all that. Got the dog in at 10, and that was all good. And then I'm just like chilling in my house, thinking all I'm going to do today is just kind of hang out and piddle in my house, play with the dogs, whatever. And then I'll just be ready at 3 o'clock my time. And then my sister shows up, or she calls. She's like, hey, she said, I found those shower curtains. I'm like, cool. So she comes over. And I didn't stop until 10 till 3, I think, or 10 before the show time.
You've done that today?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well done.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why there's I don't know if you can see. Well, I won't show it again because my battery's going low. But I have a big what do you call that? A metal rake as part of the I haven't secured it to the ground yet or weighted it yet or put a rock. I don't know. Right now there's a rake and I put a heavy can that had a bunch of nails and screws in between the other seam because I've got two seams, one on each side. With a little bit of clear tape, but I'm excited about it. Richard, if you want to come help me, no.
Yeah, Richard.
Right.
Over to Lesia's.
Right. Yeah. We do need to get together. It's been a while since we hung out, so Yeah.
He's lovely, Richard Burke.
Yes, he sure is. But he doesn't like the cold at all. He doesn't like the cold. Yeah, he hates the cold. And I think I even read in chat earlier where he said that he is sitting at his heater. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Hey, Trouble.
That's pretty. What you're wearing? I love it.
I was going to say something, Anna. We could only see your shoulders, and I was thinking, she's not naked underneath there. But you can see she is wearing a top. It's just off her shoulders.
Yeah, very nice.
My girls dressed me in it, so.
Do what?
That I'm probably a bit old for it, but my girls dressed me in it, so.
I love it.
Oh, it looks pretty.
I love it. Do you have a date?
No. Yeah,
you're going to get online? Huh? Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, it's ladies' night.
You dressed for the occasion, Trouble.
You did. You
wouldn't want to see what I'm wearing. I'm wearing pajamas.
Sorry. Actually, my overalls broke. It was like, oh, shit. Now what am I going to wear? And this was just sitting on the floor from the other day, so I'll just throw that on quickly. A little overdressed, but oh well.
No, it's adorable. It's adorable. Yeah, and I like your sign up above your bed area or your couch, whatever that is.
Yeah, above my bed.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Nice.
And see all the butterflies on my roof.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Richard B says in the chat room, all he needs is an invite.
Oh, okay. I thought he doesn't. Well, if it's wet and cold, he doesn't like to get out. I'm joking on. Yeah. Okay, Richard. Sounds good.
Anyway, for the chat room, we're going to say goodnight now. And thank you to everybody that listened into Ladies' Night. And thank you to Patricia. Are you there? Patricia.
I'm here.
She's frightened. I'm going to go, no. Aren't you, Patricia? I did it anyway. That was a joke. And I'm glad you're there, Patricia.
How have you been, Patricia?
Hi, Trouble.
She's so patient, Patricia. She's lovely.
You're awesome. You're awesome. You're lucky to have her.
Yeah. I am lucky to have Patricia.
Yes, very constant, like a constant friend like that. Perfect. You know.
Yeah, we're very similar and very different. That we're Geminis. We're one day apart on our birthdays. I mean, when I have to make decisions, Patricia actually agrees with me. She just might do it. I'm a bit more hot-headed than her. I'm not going, oh my goodness, or whatever. Patricia's very calm.
Aren't you like the psychotic twins where you're like Sybil? You're like, what?
It's weird, isn't it? That we're one day apart on our birthdays.
Wow.
I'm finding a lot of that date thing happening. Dates, familiar dates everywhere.
Turdy tree?
That horrible my poster that my kids bought me, my flat earth poster, was 33 inches by 33 inches. I thought, oh my goodness. Can I say again, thank you to everybody in the chat room, and thank you to Andrea, thank you to Roxanne, thank you to Sarah, thank you to Bling Bling, thank you to Trouble About, thank you to Lesia, and thank you, Patricia, and thank you everybody for watching this hangout tonight. It's been a nice ladies' night. And we'll do it again, won't we, guys?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Ladies, yes, ladies. Yes. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming. Seriously, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Good night from us.
Mwah.